sinlos varin Bodain vokul ma verakas kvar Arkvinor och pargan Fudnos honsin grossan Dovakin fahim kogan mundra
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lost Initiative Return to Faerun, week, 17? Week
I don't.
17?
I think so. I think that's what it says.
Baeshra
Oh
solo
god.
with 69 viewers. Hey, that's a good way to start a stream. So
You would call that out, Scott.
I
You
would.
would.
Yeah. I mean,
You
I'm a child. I'm a man child. So for those of you that may have missed last week, or done with the books already, Rory, or the week prior.
I heard it that time too.
Right? She's like, I don't want this book. And it hits the ground like it's like, I don't know, the encyclopedia of everything. But it's probably like Mary Had a Little Lamb.
I picture your daughter not just dropping them, just like throwing them as hard as she can down.
I mean, I've seen her do it. She literally, because she like lies in the bed, has that little half arm thing so she doesn't like fall off or whatever. She just tosses it like I'm done with this. Like, you're dismissed. And, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, 2 weeks ago, Baeshra made a decision. He said, I'm gonna scout things out. And they're like, you sure? And he was like, yeah. It's like, but he's like, yeah. So he left. And what immediately happened, like right after he left, was there was a combat, and the party had to fight it. And then there was a bit of a rest between combat A and combat B. It was about 4.5 hours, something like that, between A and B. Baeshra hadn't returned. They fought combat B. That was a rough one. I honestly was genuinely worried about whether or not, because like the first one was tougher with Baeshra there, they would have just stomped it. The second one, without Baeshra there, I was legitimately concerned. But they won that fight. We won't use the word stomped. And then more time has passed even since that combat ended. Actually, I was talking about flashing forward upwards a day as to whether or not Baeshra returns during that time or at all. I suppose is about Tyler's face just dropped. Clip that, check the VOD. I'm like, or at all, and Tyler's like, no, not again, man. Like, it's getting old. It's getting old.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I didn't even see my face drop because I had the screen covered with the Zoom chat.
No, you're like,
Oh.
It's funny. Anyways, so so you, sir, are out on your own now. Kind of to set the stage, Baeshra had decided he was going to go and scout things out, as I literally just said. But he wasn't sure necessarily what his plan was, where he was going, so on and so forth. So I do want to invite you, Tyler, to describe like where Baeshra was, like what kind of like what his plan was and what he grabbed, because you did kind of take an extra moment to get yourself ready before you just ran out the window. So did you grab anything additional before you left? Any other details that you think I should know?
Baeshra probably grabbed a few of the valuable books that he had found. Stuff that he probably grabbed whatever he thought was the least valuable. It seemed cast aside or not important. He grabbed a few of those items. It wasn't like enough to burden him, but it was maybe like about 5 or 6 books. And before he jetted out, and he had alternate reasons. He didn't voice them to Vicelor or Ciax, or anybody at all with regard to why he wanted to get out of the church. Or not the church, the library. It felt like a church for him. But anyway, he wanted to get out of there. Obviously, he wanted to see if he could spot the person who was casting the looks abouts inside, to see if they were outside trying to figure out where to besiege and attack to get into the library to infiltrate. So his plan was to go out the window and climb onto the roof and look about.
Cool. So did you have any kits or anything like that you needed to bring with you? Because I don't know if you owned things or had on your person, like for the stuff that you carry around.
I mean, he's got his thieves
climbers
tools.
kits or anything like that.
He would have had his thieves tools. He probably would have taken a rope from somebody else. There's no climber's kit. He has an explorer's pack, which usually has a rope in it. I don't know what all an explorer's pack has in it.
Roll20's not letting me switch to pop-out mode. It's really weird. Can I not pop out my own chat?
He was also invisible.
It's weird.
When he went outside. And he had asked Vicelor what to look for, what the person would look for, not moving around or whatever. That was used as a spell.
You would grab you grab the various supplies and whatnot that you needed to do. What was that last one more time, sir? I'm done looking at
The
this.
Explorer's Pack. I don't know what's in the Explorer's
Oh, the
Pack.
Explorer's Pack is a whole bunch of stuff. Like, so you're like a grappling hook, rope, rations, mess kit, torches, things like that. Things that you probably would leave mostly behind because of how heavy they are. They would kind of weigh you down a bit. But you'd probably grab a bit of it. Like maybe grab the 50-foot length of rope, throw that over your shoulder, or like just kind of dump out most of your backpack and throw it in there.
The hook and stuff like that. He'd probably grab some rations, but Baeshra likes squirming food anyway. He probably would have left the rations behind.
Okay, cool. So yeah, he definitely likes something that has a little bit of a fight to it. So you grab just like the basic supplies or whatever, and you end up heading out, like you had said beforehand, out one of those windows that I think you originally snuck in, or at least you helped Wade sneak in at one point. That's right. You helped Wade sneak in.
He also would have taken the shadow mask back from Weisler as soon as Weisler got back, so he has that on him as well.
Of course. So as you make your way to the window, do you do anything to immediately prepare yourself before you walk out the window? Like, for instance, put the shadow mask on, utilize any items, anything like that?
He would put the shadow mask on. He's invisible right now, so what isn't that big of a deal. But he would also find a way to get the grappling hook and rope tied together, hooked onto the roof.
Oh yeah, that takes you 2 seconds. Get that prepared. And it's a 50-foot length of rope unless you grabbed up any more, which weighs, if it's assuming it's hemp rope, weighs 10 pounds. Nothing crazy. So you grab up your stuff, you get prepared, and you're able to slip out the window. As for slipping out the window, nobody's really going to notice you up here particularly easily. Even though the place is siege, they're literally looking for opponents, so on and so forth. You're familiar with the layout well enough because you've scouted it out before. You helped Weisler in. So roll me a stealth check, slipping out the window, but with advantage. Okay, sir?
I believe I did that last time, and I rolled really high. If we go back and look at that, when you first had me slip out the window, I believe I had already rolled that.
That's a long ways back. Let me see if
I can
get there.
That was not last week, but the week before, so 2 weeks ago. I can't see it in the chat. There are so many rolls that have happened since then.
Let's see. Let's try hiding GM rolls and hiding whispers. All right, and now let's start checking out all these old pages. This is Thonkies and Skull Crusher, so it's definitely not that combat. Weisler, Syax, Weisler. This is just lots of Weisler and Syax. So probably at the tail end of this. Okay. Baeshra rolling a 1d100. That's funny. I want to steal a wizard's gold. Haste, Syax casting haste a bunch of times by accident. Oh god, he cast it so many times, it's hilarious. Okay, so that's the one with Thunk. So scrolling back up, try to find your old roll instead of just rolling again and accepting it. Where are you, sir? I see shock and grasp and stuff. I do not see your stealth. Oh, because it was before last combat.
Yep.
Oh, that's a while ago.
21. Stealth was a 21.
You finally found it?
Yep.
By clicking the older chat or whatever?
Yep. I popped out all of it. I rolled a 21 to do so.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Okay. And that was last because you plopped. No, actually, no, that's not right. I think it was 27. Either way, it's way up there.
It might have been a 27, yeah.
Nope, there it is. Okay, I see it. 15-21 because you had advantage. Same exact thing as I just said right now. You got the 21 total. All right, we're good to go. We have our result. All right, cool. So there was a long time to figure out what we were doing. So you should just reroll. Now I want you to reroll to see what it comes in as.
You really want me to?
Yeah. I just wanna satisfy curiosity. Let me get these dice rolls out here. And it comes in as a 17. So okay, your argument was fine. Yeah, your argument was fine. Okay, so you you make your way outside of the window and up onto the roof. Now, this place is old, and I described it beforehand. It has that kind of old Gothic look to it. It is a well-designed building with the giant windows up top to let the light in. I explicitly designed parts of it as sounding like levels that you would see in when you were playing like the Batman games, right? The Dark Knight games, whatever they were called. So there are when you originally open up the window that's out there and you kind of climb out, the roof is at a hard pivot, but there's like enough stuff sticking off the roof, design work and the actual shingles themselves. You can grab them, kind of pull yourself up there. I won't make you make a climb check quite just yet. And you're able to get yourself pretty quickly onto a level area where you can stand and outlook below. And what you see down there is a lot of people. It also, the best view you've seen of the city, not on the magic carpet, because obviously the carpet would give you, you can fly higher above this. But this is a pretty tall building, and it's giving you a pretty good view of what's going on around you. An important thing to note is that you do not just see combat, or I should say you don't just see soldiers around the base of this building, surrounding it, trying to break in, sieging it. You see that clearly there's combat happening elsewhere in the city as well. Do me a favor and roll me a perception check as you
Because of how high up I am, I mean, I'm obviously farther away. Never mind. It won't give me advantage.
No, it just lets you see different things.
Yeah.
All right, not a bad roll to start. So looking out, looking out beyond, you do see, as I said beforehand, there are bits of combat happening here and there. An important thing to note is the areas where you had discussed with the Thieves Guild, where they were supposed to focus for you, they seem to be honoring their deal. Because those areas seem to be places where there are literally battles happening, or you can see that there's people fleeing from, so on and so forth. So the areas of notes that you had discussed with the Thieves Guild are actually upholding their end of the bargain for you, which is wonderful. Looking down below, directly down, what you end up seeing is that there is a bit of an area where they've cleared away by the front door, and they're currently building a siege device. You've seen these before in movies and video games and whatnot. It's going to be a large kind of like double A frame with an axle across the center and a large hunk of wood that almost like a tree trunk that's reinforced with steel and spikes. And they're going to swing back and smash into the door. But what you see that's over there for people that are going to smash the door is you actually are looking about, and you can see like nearby, DC 17 gives you this. You can see nearby there are two ogres that are chained with almost like manacles or like neck chains, locking them up. Their arms are all chained up, and they're chained to like a bit of a stone area that's nearby, over by where a slave market would be, because of course slavery is very big in Thay. So over in that area, you can see that they're chained up. Clearly, they're designed to be the ones that they're going to use to smash this thing against the wall and really get that force to bust in the door. Another thing that you note is so over where that area is, right outside the front door, where they're constructing that and kind of getting ready to do it. You can see, and mind you, it's only because you're on the roof that you can look down and see this. No window would have been able to give you that kind of like a look down, that angle to be able to notice it. So it's information Thonk likely doesn't have, but you can get to it in a bit. The other thing you would have noted was that up the street from the main street, but over a bit, there's an area that's clearly set up where there's a whole bunch of welly armed guards about, and even a couple of the Thayan, like the night ones, the enforcers, the really frightening looking ones that are there. Even a couple of them underneath what looks to be a very well designed canopied. You've seen them before when you go to like pop-up tents. So, but it's like a circular one.
Command station.
Exactly. It seems to be like maybe a command station, whatever's over there. The canopy makes it so you can't see inside, but kind of patrolling back and forth, you see definitely two enforcers that are over there. You can't make out much detail about those enforcers, what weapons or whatever they carry, because it's too far. It's just the quality of their armor, the size and spikes and whatnot kind of stand out enough for you. Mm-hmm. And the last thing you kind of notice in this area is that looking out towards the sea, because you can see the ocean, the library is near to where the actual bay is. You can actually see that there are a number of ships that are sailing into the docks. So looking out as far as you can with the sun that's over there, it's hard to see everything. You don't get all the detail, but you know that there are ships pulling in. Can't see flags or anything from here.
Baeshra would anticipate that's reinforcements of some kind, more soldiers and more stuff to try and take back the library.
Mm-hmm. So, what's the plan?
Looking out past the city, past the wall, anticipating that he's high up. There's no way I could see any sort of scouts or anybody approaching from the orc army that's supposed to be coming, right? They're supposed to be here in 3 days, so I wouldn't expect them to be visible.
So the entrance that originally you have them coming in is a bit far from here, the main gates entrance. You can look down that main street, but it's so far away that other buildings are of various heights along the way. You can see down the main street for the most part, but not even all the way directly to the gate because of, like, again, other stuff in the way, tons of people there, etc., etc. Mostly lots of dead bodies because, like, when you guys fought your way up, the dead bodies have been kind of like piled to the side. You can imagine they're going to be pulled away and burned or whatever. So you can't see the actual gate or really beyond the walls because even though you can see like a little bit, nothing stands out. It's too far away. You're on the southeastern portion of the city, the part that's closest to where the bay is.
Mm-hmm.
The Sea of Falling Stars.
Interesting question. Would Baeshra be able to tell how the ogres are trapped? Would he be able to unlock them both at the same time if he went down there? Is there anybody like right on top of them? I would assume they'd give a wide girth to these ogres as to being afraid they would get hurt because they're obviously enslaved. They're not like being helpful. They're being forced to do this thing.
So with your vantage point, you can see that they're there. They're captured and all that stuff, and you can kind of like see what their purpose probably is. However, you cannot see any of those finer details, not without getting much closer.
Okay. Let's see. What's going on in Baeshra's head?
While you're deciding what Baeshra has going on, it is important to note that this building is very tall and is a Gothic design. So every floor in the building, there are many floors, is not like a typical 10-foot floor. It's very tall, upwards almost a 20-foot floor. The building itself, with the gap that goes to the vaulted ceilings to the roof and whatnot, the gap that's up there for the flat area of the roof and then the slope part and then the other slope part and then drop, right? Because again, I think old Gothic style, is probably about 100 feet down. If you were to just jump from the highest point down, probably about 100 feet. But very likely you can kind of drop down almost 20 feet, sticking to like the actual roof along like the slidey spots. It's like maybe a corner part, right where the wall meets the actual like roof. You know what I'm saying? So that'd probably be closer to say like 80, 85 feet from there.
So so Baeshra could get closer, perhaps.
Yeah, and that's if you're going straight to the ground. There are, of course, other buildings around as well.
Okay. Is there any buildings within reach that he thinks he could easily jump to or get to?
So looking about, trying to like take that in. It's like walking around the edges. Now you don't have to be so close to the edge where somebody might see you. It's kind of like walking along the top of the roof, seeing what closest building nearby. Even if you were to slide down that like almost like 15 to 20 foot like reduction of height, it's still going to be a solid probably 45 foot or so drop to the next building because the other buildings around you aren't anywhere near as tall as this one. So, I mean, 45 feet isn't the end of the world. The problem is you have a 50-foot length of rope, and then there's a bit of a gap between A and B, and who knows if anybody sees it all.
Right. Obviously, Baeshra is invisible, but the rope and the hook wouldn't be.
If it's on your person, it is. If you start...
Then, he's invisible, so why would I be worried about sight? It's more of sound.
Yeah. Sound and just... oof.
Yeah. Obviously, going to the front door, I could get closer by going down the slope, you're saying?
Yeah. Kind of like walking down like the two different parts, because again, these old roofs have a flat top, then a sloped portion, then a more extremely sloped portion.
Okay. So Baeshra's going to be smart about this. He's going to take his grappling hook rope, hook the rope around one of those tower points, and then tie the rope around his waist as securely as he can. He's a cunning artisan. He knows knots. He knows how to do this stuff. And so he's going to make sure it's all secure and can hold his weight, and therefore could easily hang on the rope and get a closer vantage point, even on the steeper slope part. He just would have to slowly and gradually make his way down as carefully as he can.
Cool. So you're going to do this from the flat point, kind of secure yourself, anchor yourself way up there. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So you're able to use up about, like I said before, about 15 feet of rope to get yourself down to the edge. So you're a bit lower. And I'm not even going to make you make a check, because you can easily slowly lower yourself down to wherever it is that you need to. And get there. And so you can kind of like look about. I imagine you're choosing, so where it is that the highest buildings are, if you're looking out the side the two sides of the building, you'll find one that from the edge, which you just lowered yourself to, whichever side it might be, is still about another like 45-foot drop from there. If you go out the front, like straight out the front door, over there is actually you'll find something that's only about like a 40-foot drop. It's not that much of a difference, but still, if you can get a good like vaulting jump or some, I don't know, some way of getting across, it's just a bigger gap between the roof of your building and the roof of that building. Bigger gap like horizontally as opposed to vertically. However, if you go at the back of the church, because it's built over near where the bay area is, right outside the back of the church is where one of like the drop-offs, because it's very steeps or steps is how much of Thay is designed. So right at the back of the church is where there's going to be like an actual lands drop, like a solid like another 30 feet. So you're talking almost 100 feet, maybe more down to another building there.
Okay. Baeshra's plan was to do this towards the front to see if you could get a better view of the ogre's fastening devices and the command tent.
Sure. So you're kind of lowering yourself out the front way. So again, you went down that 15 feet. You're about 80 feet up from the ground, and then so that makes it still about 40 feet up from the building across from you, which is still really, really high up over there, considering. So because that makes it like a 50-foot building almost, right? Or whatever it is. So maths. So you make your way down there. The gap between here and there is going to be a 10-foot gap. No, sorry. Like a 30-foot gap across the street to the rim of that building. You're not dangling or anything like that yet. You're just kind of the edge of your rope at the edge of the building, kind of like, you've got yourself secured, leaning out and down, looking about. You can really see. Do me a favor. Roll me a intelligence check, because you don't really know.
An investigation?
You don't really know war machines. So I'll let you do investigation. That's fine.
All right. Just a normal investigation, right?
Correct. I bet you're excited that there's no curses in this campaign, aren't you?
I am. I'm very excited. Also, I just rolled a really high investigation check.
That's really good. So looking at that, you can actually see the siege engine. You don't know siege engines very well, but you're actually a pretty good crafting person in general, aren't you? So like you know how to put things together, the basic function of stuff. You're not like super smart, but you're crafty. So you're looking at the engine they have down there. You're guessing they might be anywhere between 1 to 3 hours out from that thing being completed. Anywhere in that kind of like time frame. It all depends on whether or not things are kind of like going well for them, so on and so forth. Maybe 2 hours they'll have this device ready.
Gotcha. And then am I able to see how the ogres are fastened if I got down there and somehow was good enough to unlock them?
Not from this vantage point. You'd still have to get like maybe the building that's across to you. From there, looking out, you would definitely be able to get a pretty good sight. Here, you still have too much obscured. Too much skyline.
Baeshra's going to climb his way back up and unfasten the ropes and make a plan of attack on how to scale down towards that 40-foot drop building. Are there any windows below that? If he was scaling down the wall, would he be able to use the hook, get on that window, and then reach from there, or no?
So the windows are kind of cool because they're old like stained glass windows, you know what I mean? With kind of have like the wire framing to them. Not all windows can open and close because that would be ridiculous. Not every window you'd have access to from the inside or outside, right? So some of the windows down there would be kind of what you're describing, where it'd be like a stained glass window with the metal framing that has like a bit of a ledge you could potentially even stand on, kind of like you see people doing in Big Ben and movies and whatnot, right? So you think that if you were to hoist up your rope, you'd be able to rappel yourself down to one of those areas pretty safely and be able to have it, but then you'd be utilizing your rope to get there. If you choose not to use your rope, trying to pick the path that you would use to get down would be a bit more difficult for you. But you might be able to get yourself to a secure spot, and then you'd at least have your rope still with you.
Okay. The question part here becomes, if he used his rope, would he be able to unhook the hook from the top while he was on that ledge?
Probably not. I mean, honestly,
Okay.
You're like,
Yeah, it's messing with slack while also worrying about footing and balance.
Yeah. And hoping it doesn't fall and, it hits somebody in the head down below and like, what? It counts as an aggressive action and you lose your invisibility,
All right. Baeshra's going to be risky, take his rope and try and find his way down to that ledge in order to be able to throw the rope across to the other building and alleviate that drop. Whether he hooks it on the windowsill and climbs down and then kicks off the wall to try and get to that other building safely, or throws it down there and ties himself off and swings.
So you don't want to rappel, you want to climb.
Yep.
Okay, so it's a pretty easy check to get yourself back to the ledge of the between the roof and the actual wall you're going to be climbing down. For this check, that first 15 feet, it's simply a advantage. You would acrobatics this.
Advantage acrobatics.
1. Ooh. Well, too bad that was already used.
Yeah.
At least you had a very bad roll immediately afterwards, so hopefully the average kind of pulls up a bit for you. So you very easily get yourself down to the area where now if you were to tie your rope off, it would drop you down to maybe 30 feet, 35 feet or so above the actual ground, but too low for that building, and you probably wouldn't be able to push yourself or anything to get to where you need to go. So you're down to about 85 feet above street level, and you're securely held there. You get your hand on a spot, and you're looking. And because you rolled such a high acrobatics, I'll say that you spend an extra moment to pick your path for what, now that you can kind of see a bit better, for what is the best spot for you to climb down. And for this next roll, I was going to be wicked mean and have you roll at disadvantage because you're scaling down the outside of a building that's not designed for it. But I'll say you end up picking your path so well that you roll normal.
All right, and is this an athletics check?
It is. Give me one moment.
Because climbing, in as far as I knew, it was athletics.
It is actually athletics. You can choose to do that instead if you'd like.
All right. Here's my question. I have the feat of being an athlete, so my climbing is normal speed. It's almost like walking, so I believe that should give me advantage.
It doesn't give you advantage. It makes it so you only make one check instead of two. God damn it! Oh, wait a second. Right. Making a running
jump for this is the other thing is I only have to move 5 feet rather than 10 to make a running long jump.
God damn you! Oh, Tyler, you always trying to make my life difficult. I always forget about those little features your character has. All right, make your athletics check, sir.
Oh gosh, please be good. It toyed with that one. I was so scared. I was so terrified.
It was like, 13. Yeah. Oh, thank God. Oh, there you go. Okay. So you, it does land in a good spot. You are able to kind of like climb your way down there. So what happens is, I was looking for a clean climb was going to be a 20. That was going to be a clean climb down. It was not a clean climb, but it was close to it. What it is as you're making your way down there, kind of like moving quickly.
There were some slips and rock scrapes that went down.
Exactly. Slips, rock scrapes, which inevitably leads to, of course, dust, pebbles, debris, stuff like that comes, feathering down as well and dropping down. Roll me a perception with disadvantage while you're making your way down to that windowsill area. So you actually do notice down below that one particular guard kind of like does something off their head, then does so again and then like sneezes, and like does so a third time and kind of like looks up. And that gets a little bit of debris in their eye because they happen to be just standing below where you are. And so they stand there for a bit and they straight mean bug where it is that you are. Like looking more or less, you could feel like they're looking directly at you because they can see where shit was falling from. And they're like, but because you noticed it, you're able to hold yourself perfectly still and wait until they kind of like cursed to themselves and walked off. And so you were able to continue your climb, and no alarms were raised.
Thank goodness I rolled a 14, and the next number was high.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh!
It's like those video games. The bad guy's like, "Huh?" Yellow alert? Question mark. All right. So, anyways, you're able to continue your descent down and get to that windowsill area. Now, it is important to note that the windowsill is probably about a boot's length deep. So it's a great spot for lots of pigeons and other like fowl to be settled in. So when
he gets there, he's actually going to grab a pigeon, bite it, and eat it. because he's hungry. He's been working hard, just head first, and then slowly munches down the wings into the feet and is using the foot as a toothpick.
If you grab a bird and you eat it, it is an aggressive action against.
Oh, then I won't do it. You can't do this with invisibility. Darn it.
But it is instinct for you to want to do that. Ooh, because you have that "I'm always hungry" feature going on you, we should make him make a roll. Should we do it, chat? Should we do it? I'll be nice.
I'm all by myself, Scott. Please. There's tons of people below me.
Well, yeah, we'll have you roll a wisdom check with advantage.
Wisdom save with advantage?
Yep, wisdom save with advantage. The DC's not too high.
Oh my gosh. The only issue is I have a +0.
There you go, okay. I saw the DC at 10, so you're fine.
Oh my god, thank god for the 12.
So you grab a bird, it's like, as the others kind of flutter away, and you're like...
Next time.
Tie it up, put it in your pocket. I'll save you. Tie the beak shut. I'll get you later. Don't worry. No, you let it go, of course. And so it flies away. And you're able to stand on the sill. So because it's about a boot's length long, and you're like kind of a barefooted, beast, you can stand there comfortably. You can like kind of use your claws to grab onto a bit of like the wrought iron that holds the stained glass into place, and you can feel secure at any point in time. You give like a 3-point hold, fingers into a bit of the wrought iron, feet on the ground. You can kind of like lean out and look about. The whole while since you originally got up here, looked about, take things in, started climbing down. It's all been about 15 minutes so far since you turned invisible, leaving Wade, etc., etc. About 45 minutes left to your invisibility. Now that you're standing down here, this, as I said, 15-foot drop from the to the roof like edge, and this was like another 20 feet down from there. So you're only about, what's that, 20, 15, 35? You're only about 75 feet up. Sorry, that's wrong. Sorry, 30. So you're only about 60 feet or so up from the ground below. However, the building you want to get to, it's about 10, 15 feet below what your level is, but about 30 feet away from where your level is. So you get 30-foot gap, 15-foot drop between you and that building. How do you intend to get there?
My original plan was to break a small part of the window and hook in to go down and then kick off. But if the gap is that big, I don't think I could easily get across a 30-foot area with the rope tied to me and kick off to try and grab and reach the roof of the other building. So instead, I think what Baeshra's going to do is tie off the end of the rope to the window. He's going to break 2 small places and tie off the rope onto the steel bearing part of the stained glass window and try and throw the hook to land it on the other building, creating a way across for him to kind of climb across.
Legit Batman style.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you don't necessarily have to break a window. You might be able to kind of like jury rig the rope in there if you just spend time and do it fine and careful. So that being said, you can make me disable device checks. Every check will represent 2 minutes for you to try to get it in there because it is fine work. It's a pain in the ass because you need it in there securely. Or you can just take it. You can just take a 20 to succeed, and that'll take you 10 minutes time.
Would my thieves tools be of use for this? They're used to getting into small nooks and crannies to be able to help and make that happen. Because they're used for picking locks. He would have left the crowbar and the other stuff behind because that stuff's too heavy. But
your thieves tools will give you the option if you want to, going back to your original idea, cut a small portion of the glass. So you can like use your thieves tools to cut a small portion of the glass from either side of like an iron beam, so you have an easier pass through. So that would be, instead of just trying to like wiggle it through, you can actually cut some glass and loop it through, no problem.
Okay. I feel like that would make more sense for what he's capable of.
It's closer to your OG plan. So why don't you roll me a thieves tool, and because you don't want to break the glass, you just want to cut it. You're trying to be quiet. It's with dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
This is a normal roll.
I figured.
Okay. It's actually not bad. You're able to cut the first one relatively easily. The second one, you end up trying to cut it and just because of the angling, because you're actually, the first one, you're kind of like grabbing your glass cutter and you're doing a quick little up and over, a little like loop like that, like a sun crusting over the horizon. And you can get the piece and kind of like flick it in, it goes in, probably breaks somewhere or drops on the windowsill on the inside. Nobody in the library probably notices. The bottom portion, however, trying to cut down and loop back up is much more difficult if you've ever done any scoring with a utility knife. It's much more difficult. So as you're trying to do that, you actually end up kind of cutting down and doing one of those cuts across. And you end up, when you finally do get the thing open, kind of like jury rig, doing more of like a V format instead of like a cute U to make it happen. You end up getting the piece cut out that you want. But the glass there definitely has a good heavy scoring into it. That makes it probably easier to break. An important thing to note should things go wrong in the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, he'd notice that and just still tie off and try and make it as best he could to avoid that area. But obviously that's not really a good avoided area.
Okay.
But
tying it off at this point is going to be pretty easy. You can kind of pass it in, grab it from the other side, pull it out. I'd say this whole process, instead of taking the 10, probably takes you about 3 minutes to do.
Okay. All right. So he's tied that off. Now it's time for the throw.
Okay.
I'm guessing it needed to be a 20 to get a perfect.
Yep, or higher. Okay. So now you're going to take the grappling hook, and I imagine you're going to do this almost like lasso style, like.
Yeah,
or even
he's
like,
hanging out with his 3 points of contact with his one arm out, and he's going to toss it underhand with the lasso style to get it to where he wants to go.
Awesome. This doesn't have to. This could be an attack roll with dexterity and proficiency bonus. No, just make a dexterity check. I'll just change the DC. Let's make it a dexterity check.
Dexterity check. All right. So just roll dexterity normal, right?
Correct. So you take the rope and you throw it across, tink, and you actually do land on the building. No problem. Yes! Got it on the building. This is amazing. Right by the roof of the building, which is a bit of a drop, not to one of the windows or whatever it is, but it doesn't look secure. And
Baeshra's gonna tug on it.
So you're kind of grabbing at it and tugging. You bring it to the ledge, and you're able to kind of like stop it enough that you're like, it's not secure. It's not good. If you pull any more, because you threw the whole rope across, if you pull any more, it's going to cause the thing to swing down and maybe hit the building here. You're going to have to try to like rapidly pull it in, like grab it and try to like loop it up and try to pull it in as quick as possible so it makes as little notice to itself as possible. Noise and the like. Roll me a dexterity check to retrieve it gracefully. Oh, no problem. You actually get it back. You literally get like a hard like whip up with the thing. So as it like loops up, you grab it enough that by the time it kind of like uses your hand as the fulcrum to swing back down, it doesn't even swing much lower than where you are. You pull the thing in, spend an extra minute kind of like rewrapping it in a way that's best for the quick release, drop it by your feet, and you get ready for another try.
All right. Another dexterity roll.
Yes, sir. Oh, Tyler! Jesus! I only have the DC set it at 15, but you easily crush it. So you throw the thing out there. It lands exactly what you were aiming for, which was
the chimney area. I wanted it to latch behind there and hook on it as well as the roof, so it's extra secure. Because most chimneys would not be made out of wood or straw or anything that's flammable. They'd be kind of stonework. They'd be bricky.
Absolutely. And so you bricky up that chimney. You grab it and you give it good heavy tugs, and it feels secure. It's tight. It's a 50-foot length of rope tied off here, as we discussed beforehand. It's still about 30 feet over and a bit of a drop. You're literally bringing this rope almost to its full tension as it is. It's not perfectly tense if you let it go. There's a bit of a slack, but it is pretty tight. Any adjustments you want to make to the rope before you do anything else?
He would tighten it as much as he can and tie the rope as tight as possible on the top, because he's up there. That's the adjustment he can make. He's going to pull it as taut as he possibly can and tie it off.
This should be easy for you to do. I'm not even going to make you make a check for it. So you kind of like just like loosen the knot that you did beforehand because you have that double loop area, and he's kind of like pull and get it all kind of tightened. And
He probably would have tied it as a single direction slip knot as it is, so he would just have to pull and it would just tighten everything up.
somebody was a Boy Scout. I never was. So
Yep. I'm an Eagle Scout. What?
This is I think I've told you this before. My buddy Keith, who's one of the groomsmen at my wedding. Keith, he was an Eagle Scout when he was a kid, and so every time he was always one of my big moving buddies. Always helped me move because I moved 27 times, right? And every time we had to put something on the roof of a car or secure something in a truck or something like that, it was always, Keith, you get that? And they always do these weird like, and it's like, oh no, that's a box knot. Oh no, that's a slip knot. Oh no, that's a sailor's knot. Oh, that's a, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Love knot. And so he would do these little things and do these little, mind you, the only knot I knew is the knot.com because I was getting married. You know, like.
All right, Scott.
Well, we all have our place in life. Anyways, so we, you get that thing tied pretty secure. It's looking pretty amazing. And then after you get it finished, secured, tied, you look back at it and you look at where it's tied up here and you look back at it and you notice something. You see it.
What? Oh, I see the rope.
Being tied off at both ends, one in this building, one in that building, it's no longer considered an item in your possession.
Oh.
And it is quite visible.
Well, time to move across as fast as he possibly can.
Okay. So you're going to grab onto the thing. Again, there's a bit of a gap. What's your plan for actually going across this? Are we going to do like a caterpillar on the, like, you know, as like a kid, or what's the plan?
He's taking out his bow, and he unstrings it, puts the string in his pouch, hangs on both ends, is about to zip line down. He wants to go quick.
Of course. Now,
because it's visible now.
Because you're using a bow, obviously going to use your hands tight, close to the center as a bit of a stabilizer. That's going to be there and whatnot. Otherwise, if you're grabbing it too wide, because there's nothing to catch or hold that center,
you know what? Instead of the bow, he's going to use his belt. You're right. He didn't unstring his bow. He actually undid his belt and is wrapping his belt around.
Okay, wrapping the belt around, kind of like the... And kind
twist across, wrist, wrap it around your hands. You're set to go.
Your character wears pants?
Yeah, dude.
Chat, did anybody in chat ever think that Baeshra wore pants?
He wears like a loincloth thing. It's still got a string kind of belt to it.
I mean, like, you're a lizard person. It's not like you have to worry about like exposing yourself. It all slips into a sleeve. You know what I mean? Like,
he's still considerate of other people's things. He's wearing a loincloth. I remember distinctly saying he was wearing like a loincloth thing. I believe it's even in my bio.
I don't know why the Walnuts comment there, I thought he was naked, was something that required permission to say. The word thought? The word thought needed permission? What?
Interesting.
I gave permission to the word thought. So anyways.
Yeah, he wore like a loincloth type thing.
Okay, well, I just always assumed he was naked. This kind of ruins all of my headcanon about Baeshra. And all
listen,
it's
even in the artist renditions that Snow made that he had a loincloth.
The music I'm using for the background right now is Oblivion, Morrowind and Skyrim music. And we all know that the lizards that they walk around pantsless. I kind of would like you to be pantsless, Tyler. Can you fulfill this fantasy for me?
Well, he is now going to be pantsless because he's probably not going to put this thing back on.
Okay. Well, thank you for being pantsless for me, Tyler. So you take the belt, you wrap it around the thing. Now, of course, this is leather to rope. Leather is obviously much, much, much stronger than rope is, but there's going to be a lot of friction, a lot of burning, a lot of damage that can be done to the leather. It's not designed for this. But how much does your character weigh?
He's probably in the like 180 range.
Okay.
Because he's 6 foot.
I'm 6 foot. I don't have a third appendage hanging from my bottom half. And because you have a tail, right? And I weigh 210. What are you trying to say, Tyler?
I'm 6'1" and I weigh 207. So
your boy's a skinny boy.
When I was in great shape, I was around 185. 185, 190. Baeshra is in great shape, although he's been eating a little more. All right, he's 195.
When I was in great shape, I was also 185. So I will not refute that. It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
I will say he's about 195.
Okay. So I'm going to have you make me an athletics check to pull this shit off.
All right.
This is a flat athletics check. Good luck, boy.
There's the natty one you wanted.
And we'll be back after this quick little break. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh my god, why? Of all the times I rolled so well and then. I can move half my speed in reaction to when things happen. I moved closer to the building. I used my cunning action to double dash across the rope, and I used uncanny dodge, and I evaded the ground with my evasion.
I'm sorry. Was there anything else? I'm sure you can come up with something.
Oh, I mean, my warning weapon was the initial indicator. It vibrated on my back like, "Hey, you dumb, you bout fall."
Does your weapon warn you of the dangers of yourself?
It says this bow warns you of danger. Period.
Well, you are the danger here. Does it warn you of yourself?
I mean, I'm not the danger. The ground and gravity are the danger, man.
So does it always vibrate because there's always ground and gravity?
No.
Because I could think of something you could do with that shaft.
Whoa, whoa. I'm also going to hold my breath because I can do that for 15 minutes at a time.
Oh, okay. You're going to hold your breath. Wow. It's all going to get better soon, buddy.
It'll cushion my fall because I have more air in my lungs. When it gets knocked out, it'll be nicer.
As soon as we hit break, Tyler asked me, what was the DC you set? Because I told him it wasn't that high. I set a DC 12. And the reason why I set a 12 is because the way it works is if you fail by 4 or less, you don't succeed, but not necessarily anything horrible happens. But if you fail by 5 or more, well, you fail. Well, he has a +6 modifier, so the only way he can fail by 5 or more is if he...
I natty one.
So you get your belt, and you wrap it around there. You take your pants off. Gangsta. And you, because your pants are off now. It's canon. You lost your pants, even if you didn't say your pants fell off.
I would have tucked my pants in behind the rope, my loincloth, so that it cushioned it more from
gust of wind. They fell off. Just kidding. So you put your belt around the rope, and you start getting yourself ready to zip line down there. So you kind of like throw yourself forward and allow the zip line to take over. And so you just let the friction between the two happen. The problem is, almost immediately, you could smell burning leather. It's not a very long journey. It's going to feel like it is 30 feet long, right? Plus, drop whatever, so over 30 feet. Almost immediately, you can smell burning leather. You get 1/3 the distance the way there, 2/3 the distance, and then snap. The belt that you're holding just can't stand all the heat. It's just not crafted for this. It's too much tension. It gets too stiff.
Also not like a real high quality leather anyway, because it's, yeah.
So it breaks apart when you're just over 2/3, about 3/4 of the way across, with forward momentum and falling. Tyler, I'm going to allow you a dexterity save. I'm going to be mean here, though. You're making a dexterity save with disadvantage.
Oh my god, why?
Because I'm mean. Oh.
Still 15. I didn't even get to see the other one in it. Oh, are you kidding me? I would have loved that 19.
As it snaps and you start falling, you're falling down. Yes, gravity's fast. Yay. But you're also falling forward. You see the roof. You're coming towards it. You try to reach out and grab the roof. You miss the roof. But your forward momentum is still going to have you crash into the side of the building. Oof! And you smash face first into the building. And you start tumbling again. However, just barely able to grab out and like with a couple claws, hang on to something. You can't even take in what it is at the moment. Loose brick, a sill, you can't even see what it is at the moment. You just know that you're all disoriented, your eyes are like spinning in your head, the world is twisting around you. You thought you were gonna die. I'm about to roll you damage, but your arm is anchored on something, and you're kind of like trying not to fall. Let's roll that damage for you, because I'm nice. This is because of momentum. Sorry, Tyler.
This is gonna hurt.
Not that bad. Not that bad. It's just a 7. Another red 7 for you. So.
Yeah, you rolled the natty 1, a 2, and a 4.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad for you. Okay, so...
Wow,
so
I got really lucky on those D6s, that's for sure. That's well below average.
well below average, absolutely. All right, so you smash into the wall. They're 15 dexterity save, just barely able to hang on to something. As you're kind of reorienting yourself, you're able to look up and see the fact that you're like literally hanging on to not a sill, but as I was saying beforehand, a bit of a loose brick, a brick that had, from water damage or whatever, broken up the mortar that held it. It kind of shifted out. You're literally hanging on to a brick that is shifted slightly away from the building. This is not a safe thing to be holding on to. Too much shift of weight could cause the brick, which is just compressed baked clay, to crack or anything like that, right? So you're holding on to this thing and like, oh shit. For you to not straight drop again, for you to have a chance of even grabbing onto anything else, roll me an athletics check. And unfortunately, because you're disoriented and hanging from one hand to start...
Disadvantage.
Sorry. So with your 8 athletics check, you grab on and you start trying to shift yourself. You get your hand up, grabbing onto a different spot, and you literally try to grab onto like just above where that brick is, anywhere that you can get a handhold onto. You get a spot where like one finger can support just like a couple pounds of weight. Then you get one foot in, twisting it around to grab into a spot where your toe can hold on to. You've got a spot. Okay, your foot's secure. You think you might be on top of a sill or something like that. And then you support some weight to that so you can try to grab this brick a little bit easier, and then you realize, no. Whatever you had your foot on, you didn't even get a chance to look down and see what it was. It did not support your weight. It crumbles, and you fall. The distance is another 30 feet.
Oh my god!
You can roll me a acrobatics check to try to reduce some of that fall.
Do I have normal?
It's normal. Can I get some F's in the chat?
I haven't even fought anybody yet. This is awful.
So, in a matter of moments, you skillfully sneak out a window, scout out the area, find a few weaknesses or areas that you can really impact the party in a positive way. Rappel yourself down, get a closer look, get an idea. Pull yourself back up, get your rope ready, and you very deftly climb down to where it is that you can secure yourself on a sill. Cut open some glass, tie off a rope, throw it across a couple times so you have it secure. Then you start ziplining. I'm a boss. You start ziplining down, fall, smash into a wall, barely hold on for a couple seconds, and then fall again, smash into the ground below. You are prone, and do me a favor, because you just hit your head very heavily twice. Roll me a Constitution save, flat. Okay. You are able to hold consciousness. You don't knock yourself out for a moment or anything like that. You're able to maintain consciousness. You're lying flat, prone on the ground. Immediately, you don't have to really roll perception, insight, or anything like that. You can kind of see as you're getting your senses back around you. Everybody around you is just reacting. They just saw a rope appear out of nowhere, heard like a and a bunch of shit happening. There are feet around where you are, and people are kind of like looking down at the ground as to where you are. You didn't land on anybody in particular. However, you definitely landed near people, and they certainly heard you hit the ground and noises you'd have made during the fall and the smash. So you immediately look up and you see that there's feet all around you. And there's people closing in. Weapons are now drawn. They're looking for you. You honestly think that any movement that you make from here, like just kind of like looking around to where you are, any movement that direction, anywhere around, there's enough people around you, you're not going to be able to slip past them without bumping into any of them, without bumping into somebody. They're too close together. It's impossible. So if you choose to like walk any direction around you, you're going to have to brush past or bump into somebody.
What about up?
Up is always an option. I personally like up. Up has worked so well before. Let's do all of the up, Tyler.
Let's do all of the up. He's just going to get up and try and get back up.
Up is a great movie. All right. You stand up, you look around you, you immediately see, oh shit, I can't. They're gonna notice me.
I only have one option. Let's jump.
All right, why don't you make your way over to a wall quickly and start trying to scramble up. I'm gonna need you to make me a athletics check, normal, and then I imagine you want to try not to get noticed. So I imagine you're gonna move at half speed so you can stealth as well. Don't worry, you can double move so you can move a full 30 feet up or whatever.
Yep.
And, you can
So
even dash.
athletics first.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I have advantage on stealth because I am invisible?
Oh yes. I have to actually make a check, as opposed to relying on passive because they're actively looking for you. Sorry, because I definitely have a chance of seeing that number. The people immediately around you, which is my first roll, I actually rolled a 91. They don't notice you, and the people even around that don't notice you either. But what you do hear is somebody a bit further back in the crowd and kind of like pick out, isolate the voices, and you're like head fog, dazed. You kind of hear somebody saying, I think they're climbing back up. I think they're climbing back up. As you're kind of scrambling and trying to climb back up, you like grab a brick and it shifts and maybe like falls for a second and you continue climbing.
Not an 18 athletics?
Climbing up a side of a building is not a low DC. So as you're making your way up there, somebody does notice that you're climbing up there. They start trying to call it out, and other people that are closer are kind of like looking and trying to see. But you did roll high enough stealth that even the people that are in the immediate vicinity cannot see you. And somebody's a bit farther back that's kind of like thinks that they see something. It's kind of calling it out. And so as you're clambering your way up there, athleticing at half speed, but you're a rogue, so you're cutting action. You can triple move at half speed. So your speed is what, 30?
My speed is 30, so if
90,
I triple
45.
move, but climbing doesn't give me half speed. Look at athlete.
No. Stealthing
but
does.
Stealth does, yeah.
So you still move a solid 45 feet while climbing up there stealthily, which is pretty fucking baller. Because what ends up happening is with that 45 feet, that gets you pretty much to the roof of the building, gets you over to the lip where the roof of the building is, so you can kind of like grab on and try to climb yourself up, but not quite to the roof. So everybody on the ground around just immediately just like, oh, I think there's something there. Not everybody, but a bunch of them start like kind of taking shots at the side of the building. You're invisible. You're moving very quickly. Nobody can imagine you going up that high. For me to even have any chance of hitting you, I'm gonna let you roll a D10, and you can choose the number of danger. Choose the number before you roll. If you roll that number, I'll make attacks and rolls against you.
The number is a 12.
Okay. Okay, that's not an option.
I'm gonna say it's a 1.
Okay. He rolls a 1. Oh, nowhere near. All right. Didn't even see it appear on the die. So, awesome. So all the attacks that happen are either right above you, or at the early part of the climb, or more likely way beneath you as you clamber up very, very, very quickly. So you're injured, you're hurt, but you're able to kind of clamber yourself back up near the roof. And then this last little part, I'm even going to make you make a check. It's pretty easy. You're already by the ledge within 5 feet. You can kind of grab it and take your time and get up there and over the lip and I'm on this roof. I'm safe. Are you though?
He wouldn't think he was safe. He'd go over and he'd actually start. He'd unhook the rope.
You go over and unhook the rope.
He's gonna unhook it and untie it from the grappling hook and let the rope kind of swing down. Obviously it's long enough to where it's not gonna hit the bottom, to where people could climb up it necessarily.
Oh
right?
yeah, it's gonna swing back to the other building, and it's gonna be well above the ground over there.
Yeah, and he's gonna pocket the grappling hook for use if he gets another rope.
Roll me a perception check.
Normal.
Please and thank you. You notice that when you come over the ledge, some people are like, he might still be up there. I don't know. There's nobody down there. That was just a waste. You're an idiot. Find him. He's somewhere on the ground. You know, like kind of. And then half the people think that there was somebody. Half the people don't. The people that do think there was somebody, some think that you may have climbed up. However, after you untie the rope and let it slide off the roof and swing back the other way, hey, look! I think he's still on that roof. Ah! You know, and kind of like people are queuing in on the fact that you're probably up here and just untied that rope. And so it's going to take time for them to get up. They're not going to scale the building. They're going to like run into a door. Or
Is there a boating nearby that he can jump onto?
Absolutely. It's actually pretty easy for you to do. You can. It's only 10 feet away, like a running jump, which you can do after only 5 feet of movement, which is pretty cool. It's only a DC 10 athletics to jump over there. It's pretty easy for you.
All right, gonna do it.
91. You easily clear the shot. It's like one of those step, land on the building next to it. And you can even try it one more time to move over an additional building to kind of like buy yourself some time.
He, instead of doing that, he's the plan is to climb down the side on the far side from it. He wants to get back on the ground. If people think, well, wait, people know he's on the roof, so they're not really looking on the ground anymore, so he's going to climb down.
Okay, cool. And you can do it on the far side, which will bring you closer to the the ogres are.
Yeah.
Cool. Again, I have to make you roll one more time. Very simple athletics check. Yep, no problem. I shouldn't say very simple. I should say not terrible, but ice cream.
Woo! Woo! I needed those rolls there at the end.
Mm-hmm. So you clamber down this wall here. You kind of like, it's one of those, you climb, and eventually just drop the rest of the way and hit the ground. You put yourself so you're not far from where the ogres are. As a matter of fact, kind of, slinking into, by the way, because of time passing, where were we? We're at about, where is it? Nope.
Last one was 41, and it was before the
Why
fall.
are you being weird? Why are you being weird, roll 20? Don't be weird on me. There we go. That was annoying. Okay. That took way too long. So as you are kind of like sitting there and listening, you can hear, because how large and heavy those chains are that are holding the ogres together, you can hear them not far from where you are. You could slink your way over there. Again, you have advantage on your stealth check. If you want to just take a minute, you can piece your way over there, watching people walking by, being careful. You don't have to rush over. You can just relax for a minute and just like, all right, they went, and go.
Would it be possible while taking that walk, he can drink a healing potion?
Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead.
All right.
Absolutely.
One healing potion is what? 2d6 plus...
it's 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2. A superior is what?
4d4 plus 4.
4d4 plus 4. So that could be... Okay, he's going to drink the superior. He has one of the superiors, So...
Oh, wait, hold on. I think greater is 44. I think superior is like 64 plus 6.
Oh, then greater then.
Yeah,
I didn't know which one was better. I have a greater as well.
Nope, you're fine. And I have to check.
4d4 plus 4.
Mm-hmm. Potion of healing. Okay, that doesn't help me. That's annoying. 5e. I missed the old school potion. 1d8 plus XYZ, Yeah, that doesn't help me. Alright, so greater is 44 plus 4, then superior is 8d4 plus 8, then supreme is 10d4 plus 20.
Alright, I'm going to drink my greater healing potion then.
Cool. 44 plus 4. You go right ahead, sir. That's pretty solid. You heal back most of what you took.
I'm at 47.
Cool.
Out of 49.
Beautiful.
And I need to get rid of that greater healing potion.
Beautiful, boyo. So you're just under average on that roll right there. One more, you would have been average. Or the kind average. You're actually just about on average. So you're you are take that minute to slink your way over to where the ogres are. and now you can see them. The ogres are there. These are massive creatures. You've seen ogres before. You maybe even have fought ogres before. They're large-sized creatures. I mean, smaller than Mortifer, because Mortifer is not real. Haha. Screw you, Wade. So they stand at probably like a good 10 and a half feet tall. They're very, very beefy. They're pretty strong. You know, these chains have to be pretty thick to be able to hold them down. But honestly, you're thinking about it. If you were to fight an ogre 1v1, you're pretty sure you could win the fight. They're so large and dumb. They move so slow. You're pretty sure you could win the fight. 2v1? Oh man, ogres can definitely get dangerous. And these soldiers here, you are better than most of these soldiers. Not the enforcers, but you're definitely better than most of these soldiers here. So, you see that the ogres are chained up. How do you approach them? Oh, by the way, ogres can speak. They're really dumb. Like, really dumb. But they can speak.
Nobody's near them, right?
There are. Roll me perception. Spending time and like kind of like taking extra moments, like look around and taking the whole site. The ogres are there, like, you know, chained up or whatever. However, on the street, there are other people that kind of like patrol up and down. Not necessarily that they're patrolling the street, they're just like going from A to B, and this happens to be the quicker way to do it because there's still like an army around here, right? There's still the guard, the army, everything else around this area at the moment. They've pulled these ogres in to be a part of this. So there are people that are patrolling the streets, but the people that are specifically here with the ogre, they're about a good, 35, 50 feet away. Maybe one guard's 35 feet away, there's another 50 feet away, engaged in conversation. They're not really watching the ogres because they don't have to. The important thing is the ogres, they have reach, but their reach is kind of impeded by the fact that they have chains. They have a little bit of movement, room to like sway and move, maybe like 5-10 feet at most or so. But even then, they can't move too much because if they do, then they could potentially get momentum and break the stone that the chains loop through. As for the stone the chains loop through, it is one huge slab of stone that both chains are looped through, but they're separate chains, and it's kind of like a loop on a hole in the stone on one side. Then there's like an empty loop. There's a loop where that ogre is, and an empty loop and an empty loop. Like they could at max capacity have 5 large chains set through here. Maybe not ogres in every chain, but maybe even a bigger creature with more chains to whatever. But they're taking up 2 of the 5 loops.
Okay, and where are the clasps? I'm guessing they're clasped to the actual system to ram with, right?
They're actually what they're chained to is just this giant stone slab that has the loops through it. The actual ram is being built around the corner from where you are. It would take you a round and a half to get to that thing from where you are. It would take an ogre probably 2 rounds to get to it, like running up to it, to get to where it is.
My question is, where is a lock to pick necessarily? Because there's no way these guys are just there's no way they could have had enough time to, with them holding still, to just forge iron around them. There has to be some sort of locking mechanism around them.
Yep. Luckily, ogres. Sorry, I forgot. Ogres are fast. It would probably just take them a round to get over there too. So however long it would take you to get there, it would take them the same amount of time.
Okay.
Because they move quickly, like feet-wise. So these are manacles. And manacles are generally like, ogres are so dumb, they can't really figure out how it works, but a manacle is just like a bolt and nut. So you imagine you hold one on one side and you loosen it on the other side. It's just usually you would use bolts that are not very, they don't glide on and off very easily, like you pick them up at Lowe's or Home Depot or something. It would have like a bit of like, you would need something to clamp it on one side and something to unscrew it on the other. Tools that you have in your thieves tool. But they're just manacles, their hands together, so there's only a little bit of give, and their neck. Their hands and their neck have a looped chain that kind of holds those. So kind of like if they were to try to pull at something, so it's good for like, workhorsing them. If they were to pull at something, they pull with their neck muscles, their back muscles, and their arms all at once, Okay,
so basically, essentially, if he unhooked the manacle, they would be able to break the wrist thing because they'd be able to get more momentum that way, right?
Yeah, or you can even just where it's kind of passed through the loop, down there. But again, it's pretty simple. It's just going to be tough because the chains are thick, and you're not the strongest.
Yeah, because my question was being able to unlock them would be his first thought process is to just unlock them, not try and break something. And he would hope to be able to unlock them both at the same time because, well, if he unlocks one, then the other one could easily get out from that area as well because they're stuck to each other. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Different loops, so different chains. So you have to unlock both of them individually.
Okay. So Baeshra would approach the closest ogre. Obviously,
Important thing to note: ogres have a passive perception of 8. What's your stealth modifier?
a 9.
So if you rolled a 1, an ogre would not notice you.
He's gonna speak.
Okay, I'm just so you know, you walk up on the ogres without even trying.
Okay.
It's easy. Like, all of a sudden you'd be like standing directly beneath it and like flick its, and it'd be like, huh? What? Like it would have no clue.
Okay. Baeshra's gonna approach the ogre and whisper quietly in the ogre's ear, saying, "Shh, keep your wits. I'm here to break your chains."
Chains? Huh? What chain?
You're trapped, aren't you? You're a slave.
Yeah, slave chain. You open?
Shut up.
He looks over. Yeah, kind of like looking around. He looks over at the other ogre, and you can hear him say something in Giants. Do you speak Giant?
I do not.
Ojo, yaro, hinda, ha, tra, ha. And kind of starts looking around again.
And now, when I let you go, destroy the machine that they set to force you on and take revenge on those that enchained you and enslaved you.
And so he looks over at the other ogres like, and the other ogre's like, yeah, smashers, break free.
Shut up.
You roll a persuasion to try to get them to like quiet down. And you can.
Do I have an advantage because of how dumb they are, or no?
No, you actually have a disadvantage because of how dumb they are. Sorry.
So should I roll with disadvantage?
Yep. You don't speak Giant, so. Ooh. Not bad, actually. Not bad. So you shut up. Shh. It's like,
So Baeshra's gonna go ahead and work on the one that communicated to the other first.
Okay, you go over. It's just going to be a disabled device check or a thieves tools check, but strength is going to be the stat you have to use.
All right, so strength.
Well, that rolled forever.
It did. It was rolling forever.
It's like, where are we going? This is a roller coaster. So yeah, you with your strength check, you go over there and you try to pry these bars open, but unfortunately, it's not easy. Like I said before, and these are old nuts, and old nuts are a little rusty. So you try to like grab this thing and you try to like brace it on one side with your hand and try to like jack at the other one, pull it. You finally get like a foot on it, and you're trying to trying to like release the first nut on like a tire and a wheel well, like for your car, but you haven't done it in a long time or whatever. So unfortunately, not successful. As you're doing that, you notice that one of the guards, that as you were having that conversation with them, you got them to shut up, but they still kind of like listens. And you're still over there like jacking at these chains, causing a bit of noise to happen from it. So a guard is going to come over and start being like looking over in the area, just trying to like see what's happening, kind of like examining. Do you wait till they leave? Do you want to take any actions?
He'll wait and kind of kind of poke at the ogre to get the ogre to move, to kind of act like the ogre was causing it. He would kind of like just poke him with his leg and whatnot while holding on tightly.
1 second.
Basically trying to deceive him by making the ogre move.
I don't think I've ever rolled that low of a negative. Why you poke leg? Why? Why? Me be quiet, the ogre says. And the guy comes over, he's like, hey, stupid, who you talking to? Me leg get poke. Me, the leg poke. And he's like, what poked your leg over there? And he starts like making his way over and kind of like examining the area. I need you to, well, you've been doing something, so you're kind of gonna have to like take a lower stealth check. But because you have advantage for being invisible, you got like a pretty good number right now. So I'm just gonna roll a perception check, see if they notice you. I set the DC at 20, which is totally passable for me. I rolled a natty 1.
Yes! He's going to walk away then.
He walks over, looks for a bit. Problem is the whole thing eats up about 2 minutes as he walks over and examines the situation. And eventually is kind of like, just keep quiet over there. And then walks off. The first one, like I said, you have your foot on there, like, you know, kind of have it checked. It doesn't work. So eventually kind of have him move, like shift the manacles over for you because of how heavy they are. Kind of shifts them over and you get it braced. So that one of your wrenches more or less is braced between like the ground and a bit of the stone slab so it can't move. You have your other wrench set on the other side sitting there. And he's like going over to start kicking it, like drop heel, like mother. And eventually does that wrenching like, and there's like a little bit of a squeak as it gets that first little bit going. When that happens, the ogre actually for the first time helps you out in the sense that he farted at the same time that it happened, and so you heard the screech, but nobody else did. But you also had to enjoy the aroma.
Oh God.
So anyways, so the thing kind of like comes loose. You're able to finally loosen the thing up enough that it's completely loose. Do you let the ogre go free now, or do you leave it slightly on? How do you?
He'd leave it slightly undone, so if he told the ogre could probably get out, but he wouldn't completely undo it because then the ogre would just be free, and he knows ogres are dumb and would just immediately go to wreaking havoc.
Okay. So next is going to be going over to the other one. It's more or less, and that's going to be another minute is what it took to do that. That's going to be a rinse and repeat for you, sir. So why don't you go over there and try the Thieves tools for me again? Strength.
Do I get advantage now that I undid one and
it's just as difficult as the other one. The second wheel is not any easier.
There you go.
I saw a 1 for a second.
I saw it too. I was like, no way, get off of that one. I've already rolled 2 of those today.
I was like, let's break it. Let's break the device so it can't be opened. It'd be awesome. Strip the nut. So anyways, you were able to loosen this one and kind of the same idea. You don't waste your time like you did last time. You get it braced up pretty quickly and you get set and you just start drop heel kicking it again. Once you get that noise to pull it. Your plan for it this time, you kind of like know when it's going to happen. So actually, why don't you do me a favor, roll me a stealth check, because you're going to like, as you feel it's giving a little bit of give, you're going to like choose that right moment.
All right, normal stealth.
Please. And that's the number that I have to beat, which is, I won't lie, I have to roll 90-20 to beat that number. So.
Oh, please.
I got a 20 total. I would have heard you last time. I did not. I have a +3 modifier, so I did not hear you, sir.
Okay.
So you actually were able to kind of do this one quieter, loosen up the nut enough that finally you have it free. You can get their hands free. Their necks might still be chained to the like a bit of chain, kind of like hanging from their necks, but you honestly don't really care if they have a bit of chain hanging from the necks to their arms. So you get to go.
If anything, ogres would use that as a weapon because they just move around brutally and swing about.
Yeah, it's kind of like the shuffle.
Yep.
Allows to like smack things as it goes.
Yep.
Perfect. So you get them both completely loosened, but not removed yet. And the ogres are too dumb. I'm gonna tell you now that you're kind of like done with the hard part with them. No, I'm not gonna say anything yet. So how do you handle the fact that they're like it's mostly done but not quite there? What's your approach?
My approach is to quickly undo the one and then run over and undo the other. It should be simple because they're already loose. So it's kind of he basically whisper to the first one. He would completely undo the one he was just working on, and then run over to the other one and say, "Be free. It's loose enough. Go on, wreak havoc, destroy the siege weapon."
You do remind them to destroy the siege weapon. Damn it. Do me a favor. Roll me a persuasion with advantage this time. You've already kind of discussed it with them beforehand. It's a really good roll. It's actually a sexy roll. So you convince them. They wait the extra moment, and they're both free. They're both like, free, break, ah! And then they both turn and just start like running off. And as like one of the guards like draws their sword, like, and like club fist them, like uppercut, sends them like flying like 5 feet backwards, several feet into the air, into like a cart or whatever, as they go running down the hallway and going to wreak havoc against that siege machine. What do you do immediately as you open them and let them go?
He would take off in the direction of where he had the meeting with the Thieves Guild guy the last time.
So you don't even stick around to see the result. You just like as soon as they go, like,
don't care. He knows that once they're free, people are going to know they've been tampered with and go looking. So he wants to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Sexy. So why don't you roll me your stealth check against with advantage because you're invisible, so nobody notices you're doing this. Cool. You spent a long time in the city and got to know it considerably well with Pat being there. So even though Pat's not here, you get to utilize one of his abilities to kind of like navigate through the city much quicker than you otherwise could have. Just you by yourself. Beyond that, you have to deal with the fact that there are a lot more patrolling. There's like a siege happening. Like things aren't what they were before, which makes it both easier and more difficult to maintain the task that you're doing. Unfortunately, it's going to take you a solid, say, give it, because you're getting all the way across town to meet with this guy, a solid 25 minutes to get to go where you need to.
Oh, he's instead of to where that meeting is, he's actually going to Temple of Mask where he had essentially established control. He's looking for the two guys that had said he's the boss now. Sorry, I misspoke. I meant to talk about that one.
It's still fine. It's still across the city considerably. So we'll still hit you with the same time slot. So it's still been 10 minutes. Now, did Wade end that spell early for you? If I remember correctly, that spell ended early from Wade. Because he had to engage into spell casting in that combat. Let me think for a second. He cast invisibility on you. He cast Dispel Magic.
It would have been the initial combat, which means he would have been at the door. Yeah.
Correct. No. I don't think he did it that one. I think he was pretty good to avoid using spells that would break concentration.
Yep.
Yeah. He used spells, but no concentration spells.
He also somehow held on and didn't take damage that often in that combat, too.
I don't think he took any damage in that first combat.
He did towards the end because his Armor of Agathis wore off.
Oh, that's right. At the very end of the combat. That's right. But either way, so he's fine. So you're actually... I'll let your last 10 minutes stay. You're welcome. I'm that nice. So you make your way over to where it is the Temple of Mask is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go up to the temple itself. You just open the door and walk in.
He would pretty much do that. Yeah, he's not worried about it right now.
Okay. So you open the door and you walk in, and you can see that inside the Temple of Mask, there's still a rotting corpse on the floor.
Great. Is there anybody else around?
There's not.
All right. Well, then he would just take off and go back.
Where was he gonna head to?
Towards where he had met with the last Thieves Guild guy last time, or follow tracks. If he's not there, then he would try and find where members of that Thieves Guild are.
Okay. So obviously the building where he used to meet with the woman blew up. And we discussed that forever ago. It's kind of like an explosion. Meeting with him at that location, that kind of like meeting spot. You're gonna go to that spot that you've been to a bunch of times. You travel there. Takes a bit of time to get there. The rest of your invisibility completely wears off. You're no longer invisible. But
However,
you know
I do have that mask on.
Yep, the Mask of Shadows.
Yep.
Pull your hood up over your head so people can't necessarily see your face, and then when they do see your face, all they see is a shadow.
Yep.
And what's really cool is when you put this on for the first time, because I don't think you had put it on before,
Nope.
is it actually protects your eyes, much like I imagine, Tyler, you've owned not necessarily like a $5 CVS pair, but like a really good pair of sunglasses before, right?
I've worn them. I have not owned them. I used to work at Kings Island and had a really nice pair of sunglasses get lost in the bottom of the wave pool. And, well, as a lifeguard, if they don't get claimed and lost and found within that day, you end up with a nice pair of sunglasses to use. I think Scott started dying by the fact that I used to be a lifeguard and saved lives, you know?
You look like Michael Phelps' nice cousin. So, what was I saying? No, it was the right ice cream, the wrong hole. So, sorry about that. Be careful when you eat ice cream, kids. It's dangerous.
Okay, bingo, they can't because I tuck my tail into a cloak. My tail. They don't know I'm a lizard. The ice cream has come back to get Scott. The ice cream has made its revenge on Scott.
My body temperature is raised by like 20 degrees because of coughing. I'm sweating like an ogre. Speaking of ogres, their intelligence score is 5. So, you know, that was...
I kind of figured it was really bad.
Yeah.
I knew they were stupid, but they are very brute and very strong.
Well, their wisdom is also a 7. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
So, all right, my apologies. You were saying making your way there. Sunglasses. So you've worn a pair of nice ones. I have prescription sunglasses just because, you know,
I forgot. I have prescription sunglasses too.
So they're probably decent quality. Probably not necessarily the greatest quality, but they're decent quality. You know that it filters out like light very well and even changes the color of like the world around you, right? Like it actually adds a bit of like almost like a tannish tint to the world around you. That's what this does. Except it's funny how it works because you know there's different types of sunglasses that block different types of light for different occasions. Mm-hmm. This does that same exact kind of light filter, but on every object in front of you individually. So like if you're looking up towards the sun, it like puts a super dark, just like blackness filter on there to give you like a pretty heavy obscuring look.
So it basically enhances my vision and being able to see stuff.
It just decreases the chance of you being blinded by super bright things around you. It actually makes you it gives you heavy resistances or immunities to sight-based things.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, got that blue light filter, true blue. I gotta cough one more time, sorry.
You're okay.
All right. So you are noticed as you're walking through the area that all this light seems to be filtered in all these funky ways. It's a very interesting way of viewing the world. It's actually kind of nice because it's always in a bit of shadow, always in a bit of darkness. And you have dark vision, so you actually see comfortably in that realm anyways. It doesn't make you use it, but it's just like a nice kind of shadowed look. Moving on, you make your way over to that building where that man had met you many times beforehand. You go walking into that front door, the same one you always have before, and you don't see him standing there in that first room.
He's gonna walk straight into the second room.
Okay. You walk straight into the second room. As I said beforehand, you see kind of like the triggers of what, like, you know, kind of the things that you can use to drop the pillars. They're kind of like obvious, whereas in the first room they were hidden. So you were walking and you see that. You see there's another door that leads out of this room as well.
He's gonna go ahead and cautiously make his way through that other door, keeping his wits about him, looking about.
Because you say that, why don't you roll me perception and investigation each?
All right, I'll roll perception first, and then investigation.
Beautiful. As you're walking across the room, you can see that there are various things in this room. Various areas in this room where like there's like holes in the wall that are kind of like strangely placed in the wall. Like, oh, it looks like it's just a damaged spot, but there's like a bunch of them, and you swear you almost catch out of the corner of your eye a glint of light, because again, the light filter from you being indoors very heavily removes itself. Like it doesn't filter anywhere near as much, and certainly allows like things like glimmers to come through, so you can notice things like this. As you're walking through, you see a glint of light from, is that an arrow? No, that's a glint off of a bit of glass. It looks like, that's weird. And then as you're approaching the second doorway to leave to maybe go to a third room, you notice a tripwire there. Very quickly, your rogue's minds can put two and two together, seeing the way that the tripwire is kind of tied into either sides. Where it is that you see that hint of glass, the different holes around the room. You think that there's a rigged trap that if you trip that wire, it would shoot whatever it is at these pillars.
He'll cautiously he'll leave it be. He won't disable it or attempt to disable it. He'll just avoid it and go through the door.
Just kind of step over it.
Yep.
Once you step over that and go into go through the door, one of the things you immediately notice on the other side of the wall here is how fucking reinforced this side of the wall is. Should that half of the building collapse, that half of the building would collapse in that direction, not in this direction. And you can see the way it's reinforced, like kind of like, beams, and kind of held in place with large boulders and whatnot to make sure the building would only fall that way. So, knowing that you're on the other side, you can kind of start like making your way, picking your way through the place. We're going to maintain those perceptions and investigations as you make your way through the other area. And eventually you kind of find, coming out the back door of this building entirely, there's another building across the street. And in that building you see movement.
He'll go ahead and head over that way, again cautiously approaching, but also somewhat expedited, just to quickly get across the street, to avoid more eyes peering in. He essentially wants to cautiously see what's ahead of him, but quickly avoid any glancing views from the street.
Sure. So you want to just make a quick perception but not get noticed?
Yep.
I'll let you do a perception with disadvantage then, because you're trying to be as quick as possible. Unfortunately, you saw a bit of movement in the building, but that was all you caught a glimpse of. It was just like a fleeting moment. You didn't really catch anything else with that quick look. You're probably going to have to lean into it a bit more. Maybe even go over towards it if you want to see more.
Yeah, he's gonna. That's what his plan was: is going out that door to cross the street to go towards it. He just wanted to quickly get over there.
Okay, so you do that and you start walking towards that building. As you walk towards the building, your passive perception, which is decent to 13, you notice there's movement on a roof of that same building. There's some movement within it. You get the idea. People are watching you.
Yeah.
Do you just walk up to the building and?
He will kind of pause to know that they're watching, and would just simply say, "I know you're paying attention, and it's good of you to do so. But I am here with the books from the library that you so requested, and to speak with the one in charge again."
So it's just like a knock knock, and then just say that to whoever might be on the other side?
Yep.
They open up and, what? I didn't hear you. No. They open up the door, and they say, "You say you brought books with you."
Yes. Where's the one that I've spoke with before?
He'll meet with you, but he's not here right now. He's handling the deal. If you have patience, we'll give you place, sit comfortable, and wait until he return.
Would I recognize this person? Is this one of the two people that he saw before, or just some person of the guild?
Another person.
Acceptable. Allow me inside.
He nods and opens the door and lets you in. You can see the place inside here has a couple of guards sitting. Everybody's on tents. As soon as you walk in, you can see the people that are in here are tents. It looks like I don't want to say I would say a squad of people. There we go, not a platoon, but a squad of people sitting inside here. You know, get their weapons, not sheathed weapons. These are more of bandits or thugs. They don't necessarily have sheaths for all their swords. So their weapons kind of like out, some fiddling with it, some are sitting on the table nearby. They all look like they're just waiting to get in order to do something. That kind of like building anticipation feel. For what it is that their task is going to be. As you're walking through that door to another one, you can see there's other groups of people just kind of like waiting to get for what it is they need to do. Roll me an insight check, sir. You get the impression that these people aren't necessarily all members of the Thieves Guild. Sure, the guy you spoke to. But you get the impression a lot of them aren't. They're like people that are thugs for hire. Just like, hey, you want to make some money real quick? Come on. And so you get that like nervous kind of twitch off of all of them. Either way, they lead you to an area where there's a comfortable room. And they say, you can stay in here till he returns. It's going to be a couple of hours.
He will nod to acknowledge and not stay in the room. he'll look about to see if he can find a familiar face.
When you go like thanks, and then you try to like more or less walk away from the room, or do you go in the room first?
I would say thanks. I'll go in this room, but I'd like to look around and see what's up first.
He shakes his head and says, Nah. You dealings with him. I don't know you. I gotta keep an eye on this place. You a crafty one. I heard you try to steal shit before.
That was merely to get the attention. If you don't know who I am, then what is this understanding that we have here? I've done a lot for you. I've got books here, and he'd show him the book, but immediately put it back, not let him touch it.
You got books for the boss. I got orders from the boss. I'll let you stay here till he gets back, but you got a reputation. You could say it was to get attention. You did a good job. You got mine. Get in the room.
Can I just quickly look around while I'm talking to him and then go in the room to see if I
Absolutely.
recognize anybody?
Absolutely. Perception check.
Just normal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody jumps out at you. Yeah. You don't see. Oh, is that? No, that's not her.
He'll go ahead and go in the room and just wait.
Yeah. You swore you saw Barbara. You swore you saw Barbara.
No, there's no way. She's in the library.
Oh, this is a different Barbara. This one plays cards. So you go walking into the room, and you see like when the door shuts, he does do like a.
I knew Wade was in chat. I already knew it.
I thought Wade left forever ago. So anyways, brain's not working, sorry. You go walking into the room and you hear like a latch shut. Let's be clear. It's latch shut. It's a simple latch shut like you were renting a log cabin, right? You're pretty sure if you wanted to, you could kick it in 3 or 4 kicks, you could bust the door open. He didn't take any of your equipment. You could probably pick the lock from your side as well. You're not concerned about being stuck here. It's just a matter of he locked you in here. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's literally he was stuck in the library, which is a lot bigger than this room, and now he's locked in another area. He doesn't like it.
Do you stay?
He will. He'll actually take advantage of it and kind of rest to try and get those 2 hit points back.
Short rest, blow 1 hit die, sir.
Is it worth it for 2 HP though?
It's a really good question.
I think so.
Okay.
And I rolled perfect, so.
Oh, that's funny. Awesome. So you kind of like rest, relax for a little bit. Hours pass. Nothing crazy, but it is like a solid like 4 hours pass. It's not like days, right? About 4 hours pass.
After he'd taken the short rest, he would go looking about the room to see if there's anything in here, just for like a little bit, and then if that's the case, he'd probably try and get out.
What's your investigation modifier?
It is a +5.
So, assuming you took your time, because you're not in a rush, you're wasting time anyways. You took a 20, giving you a 25 total, kind of investigating the room. You actually do end up finding a loose panel inside one of the walls, because you don't think this room, from the comfort level and everything that's here, because there's a lock on both sides. You can lock both sides. Just 2 different locks, right? Just simple latches. You think this is actually designed to be like a room that somebody would stay in, but I mean, just like meta idea. The reason why you have a lock on the other side too is, let's say you found out somebody might be a traitor while they're sleeping, you literally just lock them in and figure it out later. So every bedroom's also a cell. So you looking around inside the room, you actually do find a loose panel in the wall, the wood area that makes up the wall. Kind of like wiggle it free and pull it free. And behind there, you do find a couple of bits of supplies, 2 potions and a sack of coin. It'll be someone's whole hoard, 70 gold pieces, and like I said, 2 potions.
And obviously I can't identify him, so I'll just...
Do me a favor, roll me an Arcana check.
All right, here we go. All right, that's a good roll with a -1.
You take these potions and you're like, I need Vicelor or Syax or Thonk or somebody to figure this out. But you have time to kill. You just, so you take the potions, you kind of like sit them down on like a bench or whatever that's in there. And you take out your own potions, you kind of set those up. And you're like, okay, clearly this one's a healing potion. And judging by like the viscosity and the darkness of it, you're pretty sure it's actually another greater healing potion. So kind of replacing the one that you just expended. The other one, however, you have no idea what it is.
All right. I wouldn't know. It's not the worm potion, right? The worm poison that I'd found before.
Yeah, the purple worm poison.
Yeah. I want that so bad now.
Did I tell you what that does?
It's like, is it 6d10?
I think it might be more than that. It's
It's
awful. It's awful. It's crazy. So
yeah, it does an insane amount of damage.
And it has a high DC too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Now what's going to be fun is, in future campaigns when I have you fight a purple worm and you're like, oh yay, now it's just I'm getting it for the tap.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah.
You ever see the movie Dune?
No.
Then you don't know how big a purple worm is. So anyways, so you look around the room for a while, and you go over and you're like, yeah, I'm getting bored. It's been a few hours. I'm getting bored. You can go over and try to pick the lock?
Yep. Is that a Thieves' Tools with Dex?
Yep. It's a simple lock, but it's still on the other side of a door. It's DC 20. So you have to spend some time. More or less, the first check didn't succeed, so you just spend time. Because again, you're not in a rush. And eventually, you do pick the lock. It's one of those things where after you pick it, and you can open the door, you do, of course, these little scuffs or scratches, which where it was that you were trying to get your tool inside there. Because you're not using a credit card, you're using like little metal pieces. After you kind of pick the lock and you push the door open, you walk out. You can start kind of like looking around the place and peeking about. Is there anything particular that you're looking for, or?
I'm looking for anybody I recognize from the Thieves Guild, whether it's the 2 people that said I was the boss or the lady at the shop.
Investigation. You don't recognize anybody here. Nobody here recognizes you either. They see you with the mask on, and at one point in time, somebody literally draws a sword and comes at you to attack you. And somebody's like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not him, that's not him. He's got the mask on. No, that's not him. Look, he's got a tail. Oh, what the fuck? No, I'm telling you, it's just somebody else with the same thing. And there's like moments where just the mask kind of like inspires animosity from people because of who it was that it belonged to beforehand. But you don't recognize anybody in here.
Okay. He'll go back into the room then.
Okay, you go back into the room, and no sooner than you get back in the room and kind of spend time. Do you relock it or no?
Nah, he wouldn't relock it. He wouldn't care.
No sooner than you get back in the room and like sit down, the door opens back up again. And as it opens up, you can actually see blurred face, same outfit, person you've spoken to many times before. And he opens the door and says to you, "We'll be right back after this break."
I knew you were gonna do something like that. It's perfect.
Be right back. Bye, Wolfie Chan. All right, be right back.
We are back.
We are back. Tyler, I have a very important question for you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of pickle? Like both like the shape and cut and the flavor.
So Scott.
No. Tyler, the only
pickles.
thing. No.
I hate pickles.
No.
I hate cucumbers.
What?
I hate pickles.
What? The only thing worse than I hate pickles is bread and butter. Okay, like I would rather you hate pickles than like bread and butter. But Tyler, I don't know. Baeshra is about to have a couple more disadvantage rolls. Let's just say that.
No,
right
I don't like pickles. It's
you
a
are
taste thing.
effectively dead to me right now. God damn it.
Listen, I will tell you this. I have eaten pickles. Fried pickles are okay. Pickles on sandwiches, I can, like burgers, if it's a good burger, they're okay. As long as it's not like a ton of pickles. I do like the vinegary taste. I love pickled onions. I don't like cucumbers as a whole, and a pickle is a pickled cucumber.
What?
Cucumbers just taste like dirty water to me.
You need a good freshly grown cucumber washed well
with
some homemade hummus, okay?
I have had homegrown cucumbers, and I don't like them.
Oh god, okay.
It just tastes like nasty water to me.
Cucumbers are not only yummy, but pickles are fucking delicious. Dill above all, deli dill above dill. Okay? And do you watch stand-up comedy?
I've watched some stuff.
I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but it used to be for like a long time. There's a comedy special. It was called Ugly and Angry. It's some dude. I don't know. I've never heard of him before.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay,
I saw the Fire and Ice one. That one was really good.
Fire and Ice.
It was a female in
Liza
Denver.
Schillinger?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Liza Schillinger, or however you say her last name. I fucking love her. I've seen all 3 of her specials, and I've tried to see her live.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, but I could go down the rabbit hole talking about specials because I love watching it. It's like the one thing I make time to watch, just stand-up comedy. But anyways, so he has this bit in there where he more or less talks about. He's like, don't put a pickle next to my sandwich. It's way too aggressive of a garnish. He's like, because you get that pickle juice making my sandwich all soggy.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny. It's a good stand-up. Anyways, he's funny because it's called Ugly and Angry, and he's an ugly dude. So I appreciate why he's angry. So moving on. I didn't call him that. These are his words. All right. So he comes walking into the room and says, "Welcome."
Yeah, I got out of the tight spot. And I've brought some gifts for you as a sampling of what's to be there. But first, we need to discuss things.
He nods and says, and kind of like gestures for you, like put the stuff out on the area near you or whatever. Or if you already put it out,
he would put out half of it. So he'd put out 3 books.
Okay,
he would
cool.
do in his cloak.
Cool. So
he likes having bargaining chips.
Of course. So he's gonna come into the room and go over to where the books are and just kind of like, pick up one book and start like leafing through it while having a conversation with you. It's one of those half looking down at a book, half looking up at you while maintaining a conversation.
Okay. Obviously, we're in a tight spot, and luckily I took care of some ogres out front by my own hand to wreak some havoc on their own being.
Was that you?
Yeah, who do you think it was?
I had no idea.
Anyway, do you know what happened to those ogres? Hopefully they did what I told them. Dumb beasts.
They set things back considerably. They destroyed the siege device that they were building. But one of them was dismembered, and the other one, I think he was contained again.
Well, they're down to 1 ogre. That's 1 less to work on to power the siege weapon unless they bring another one in.
They're going to have to find the materials to create the siege weapon again as well, which is kudos.
Yeah. Anyway, I got friends inside there, and I was tired of being stuck in there. And unfortunately, you stuck me in this tiny room, and I'll be honest, I got out and looked about and then went back in.
That's fine. You're only locked in here as a precaution. It doesn't matter. You're not a prisoner.
Doesn't always seem that way every time I speak with you. Kind of. He obviously can't see my face, so he's just kind of just talking.
You guys are at a standstill with who can see whose face. Oh, Wade text me. He said Mortifer will remember that. About an hour ago. About an hour ago, Wade said Mortifer will remember that. Yeah, but will we remember Mortifer? Something tells us that the sands of time aren't going to be too kind to the...
Yeah, when you reference the ogre situation with Mortifer, that was great.
Yeah, sorry. So so he says, so you brought me a couple of... He said you brought me a couple of samples. Oh, you didn't need to. What is it that you want?
Well, seems we're having a bit of an issue in our time here, but there's some information that would be of use. For one, I spoke to you of the secondary assault coming in. I would like to know how far out they are and would like to report that to my team. And secondly, is there a possible slave revolt would be beneficial as well? They get their freedom if they fight. They don't get freedom for free.
Okay. Two things. The slave revolt is already part of the plan. We've caused the havoc where we could. I don't think we could step it up anymore without more assets being brought our way. Comes at a cost. As for getting information to you, it's rather difficult considering that you're under siege.
Simple enough. I'm sure you know somebody that could throw a note or send a spell or speak word to me.
Well, in the past, you and I did discuss that there is sewers that connect to the base of that building underneath it. However, there are a lot of safeguards that make it so one cannot simply walk into the building or even pass messages through it, so books don't disappear. If you want to have messages coming your way, backdoor in, and I can send my own people to collect the books that you're putting together for us, then you're going to have to drop those safeguards from the inside of the building.
Acceptable. I believe that can be done. Do you know whereabouts within the library I would be able to find the sewer? Didn't think so. I know somebody that might know, though.
So you drop those safeguards, and we will we'll funnel information to you, and secure a line for you as well. A path.
Perfect. We'll need that eventually, I presume. Anyway, good to see you're holding up your end of the bargain. I kept my lookout and I saw what was going on. Appreciate you keeping the word. Many don't.
I'm going to profit considerably off of this. I see no reason to double cross you.
As if you haven't already, having all the things that I've already taken care of for you.
Cost of doing business. Besides, now that I see that you're the group that you brought here, not as large as you made it sound, but certainly as effective as you made it sound, with our aid, of course. Wouldn't have made it halfway to the library if it wasn't for us timing things well and aiding you where we did, and they certainly would have broken in if it wasn't for us slowing them down in all of their endeavors. Of course, you're not without your own tricks, ogres and whatnot. So let's just say that it is mutually beneficial for neither of us to screw the other one. Yes. Unless, of course, he looks towards the bed.
Baeshra's just gonna not even respond, just sit there silently staring at the guy like, what are you, crazy? He can't see that on his face. He's just staring at him like...
He lets it slide, pretends like it never happened. So what did you have in mind?
Well, there's a person in my past. I wonder if you've heard of him. I forget the name I used in the past. It was like in episode 3 or something.
If you didn't write it down, I ain't got it for you, boyo.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm gonna do a quick thing. Do. Torgan.
Torgan. Like he tore it again.
It's Torgan.
Okay. So Torgan. So what do you say about Torgan? My apologies. Raven.
I'm basically finding out information about Torgan. He's was an issue in my past and has personally harmed me in a way. Do you know the name? Pretty high up there within the underworld, but on the other side of the world.
I don't. You say you're from back west, considerably so.
Yes.
However, I do have contacts out in that direction, albeit not very strong ones. I could send word and see if I could find something for you.
Needless to say, I have reasons to remove him from power. And, well, we'll leave it at that. The rest is my doing to extract.
Nods. Very well. So we will open up a network where we can speak to one another by preparing ourselves on our side down in the sewers, and you opening up the defenses that are currently put in place, so that communication can happen. We can get word to you about what's going on with the rest of your army. Let's see how big they are and whatnot as well. Hi, Molly.
Hi, Molly. Thanks for the raid. Welcome, Gem Squad.
Hi, Molly. Hello, Gem Squad. It's a squad of gems. So he says, then we come to an agreement on that. I'll look for Torgan, for you if I can. Anything else?
That's it.
That's all.
Obviously, you said you can't bring more about. Ah, another question. I saw boats were pulling in. You know what that's about?
Yeah, we didn't expect that. It has nothing to do with the siege, but it's going to impact it one way or the other. There was apparently a large shipment of mercenaries that were heading here as it was of their own volition. They were passing through the area, looking to take jobs. I think they were looking to join into the battles to the north. Maybe where your friends are from, referring to the works. Maybe where your friends are from. Either way, they're going to be sailing into harbor sometimes tonight and tomorrow morning. And I have a good feeling those that govern the city are going to be hiring them.
Is there a way we could sway their allegiance?
Absolutely.
What would you need?
Lots of coin. Ants, I'll take care of the task for you. Arrange the meeting, do the meeting, whatever it is that you'd like. 10% cut. I'll speak to them first. I'll find out how much it costs. Apply my fee. I'll let you know. Shall I get my boys to meet them while they're still at sea?
Would be preferred, yes.
Well, then you might want to get back home pretty quick, because if you want me to get that information to you of how much it costs and figure out what you're doing with your companions in there, you're going to have to drop those defenses.
Baeshra's gonna sit back and say, let me think for a moment.
He is going to close the book, open up another one, start leafing through it.
Baeshra's gonna get up and start pacing. Essentially, Baeshra is thinking about whether he needs this guy right now. Obviously, he's done a lot to initiate the Thieves Guild, and he has two people that he feels are allegiant to him. However, he doesn't know necessarily, like, this guy seems to be handling a lot of stuff with regard to things, and he doesn't know if he kills him if they'll be allegiant to him. So, Baeshra's gonna re-engage in conversation and speak with him and say, while he's still leafing through the book, say, So, it's been a while for me. Of course, my way into a Thieves Guild was a little bit different. How does one become a part of a Thieves Guild in this part of the world?
Take a test, pass it. Usually, the kids start off as pickpockets or cut purses and the like, and then they kind of earn their way up as they gain reputation. And then maybe somebody will approach them because they see talents, teach them a couple of tricks, and vouch for them, and they kind of rise from there and so on.
How does one end up in charge? Obviously, you took out your other. You had me remove the other from power.
Well, he was from opposition, spreading the wrong word. So this city used to be thriving. A dozen more different guilds, each having its own little home turf, its own base, maybe some slight satellite buildings here and there. And then the creature came through, and shit went down. Many people died, and an opportunity was seen. One particular guild realized that what everybody needed was food, fresh, clean water, for them to just be able to survive. By controlling the flow of that, they were able to make enough money, garner enough fortune pretty quickly to take the next guild over. Slit a few throats, line a few pockets, bam, taken. Reinforcements, more food, more water and control, and so on. Until the entire city was all taken under one guild's control. Except, of course, the Church of Mask. They were the only remaining challenge to have a full grasp of the city. Now every former Thieves Guild is either destroyed or consumed into one, the one that I work for. And, well, the last remaining one, we can thank you for that task. Looking for a job?
Perhaps in the future. But you spoke as if you work for it and are not in charge, and I thought you were the one in charge.
I'm in charge of a branch, certainly. I'm not the one that rules the entire thing. I'm not of the ruling council. There are actually 5 people that rule this Thieves Guild. I actually wasn't a part of this one. Assassins were sent to kill me, similar to how you were sent to kill the ruler of the priest of Mask. They came at me. I killed all of them. I went back up to them and said, well, if you want to take my guild, you're welcome to take it, but you're taking me with it. And I was subsumed into a position of leadership. And in a very short period of time, I've risen a couple of ranks. Helps to be resourceful.
So there's a council above you.
There's actually 2 rungs above me. I'm in a comfortable position, though.
Seems so. Baeshra would not attack at that point. He doesn't feel like killing him would take a charge.
Roll me deception because you're trying to hide your motive here.
Do I have advantage because my face is hidden?
Nope, you don't roll deception at all. Yeah, I would give you advantage, yeah, because your words are still questioning and body language other than your face. I've got an insight that can beat that, but I'm gonna be hard pressed. All right.
I was like, natty 20. All right.
Wow. So I have a +9 insight, and I rolled an 18. So I got a 27. So I literally failed that by 1. I literally failed that by 1. That's fucking hilarious. Oh my god, it's a good thing you got that natty 20. I'm not even joking. That's amazing. So you just barely are able to keep him off. He's not suspicious of you. He simply says, well, as I said beforehand, you're resourceful. And if you're looking for the the rolls should have been on the dice are on there, just not the rolls there.
Oh yeah, you can see the dice but not the actual rolls.
There you go. Thanks, Wade. So so he says, if you're looking for a position, I can always I could jump you through many rungs. You and I have already had incredible dealings. I'd be more than happy to sponsor you straight to working directly for me. That means you would only have 3 rungs above you. and there would be considerable beneath. Not in a position of leadership until you're given the actual title, but more or less a trial period in that position.
Mm.
And then we can see where things go from there. I wouldn't mind seeing you at my level and working side by side with you in the future.
I have other matters to attend to first, as my team requires.
Of course.
If I do return here, I can understand that.
Oh,
however,
yes.
there would be one requirement for me to work this position.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
No more slaves.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a change of culture. Good luck with that one.
Agreed.
Not all people use slaves, you know.
I am aware.
Just leaves it at that. So you're gonna head back, or is there anything else you needed from me? Perhaps a place to spend the night. You do look a bit wary. I see you've cleaned yourself up a bit, but you still have some marks on you. Bit of a scuffle on the way here.
The last thing I'll need. Is there anybody here who could... Well, my comrade has the ability to make one invisible. Do you have anything that could help me on that matter? Obviously, the library is surrounded, and in order for me to accomplish the task, well, that both of us benefit from, I need to get in safely.
Make you invisible, you said. Is this Charlie? He's kind of like steps out of the room for a second, leans out, looks down the hall, looks back the other way. He's like, yeah, this is Charlie's room. Hold on. And he goes over and he grabs at like the wall panel and kind of like pulls it free, and it's empty. And he's like,
he's gonna pull out the potion he hasn't identified and hold it up until he turns around.
He's like, I'm sorry, I thought there was... Well played.
You kept me in a room for a while. Expect me not to look?
You specifically asked for that because you knew you already had one. You may have that without any... Charlie will just be told that it was confiscated for actions. These books suck.
Really?
Yeah, there's definitely books of considerably greater value than these ones here. What is, Did you bring any more with you?
I did, but... Like I said, a sampling. Not the whole thing yet.
If you're going to tease me, could you at least tease me with something juicy? Nobody wants dried out shoe leather put on their plate. It's not exactly enticing.
They're books from the library that can't be found anywhere else.
They're books from the library that don't have much value. Listen, you've said it yourself. I've done good by you. I've upheld on my end of the bargain. Let's not make things complicated. Leave the other books, please, when you as you leave, and make sure the other ones I receive are much better than these ones. Until next time. He turns and walks out of the room.
Baeshra's gonna leave one of the two that he has left and walk out. He didn't say how many.
Mm-hmm. He did not. He just called you out for choosing shitty books.
Yep. That was Baeshra's goal, to be honest. Because obviously he knows the higher value ones could be of benefit to his squad more so than the guild. The
guild is of benefit to your squad.
Huh?
The guild is of benefit to your squad.
It is now that Baeshra feels a matter of trust between these two with the offer of employment in the future and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still tempted to kill him. Oh, I hate that. I was ready to kill him. All right. Yeah. He'll leave the book and walk out and follow the guy.
He doesn't intend to lead you anywhere. He intends to go about his business and let you go about yours. He more or less was suggesting get back home and drop those defenses if you want me to get you word from the mercenaries. No, you
That's
don't have
fair.
to go straight home. If there's anything else in the city you wanted to do before you head back.
Um, let me see what's on my list. He's gonna try and find those two people that he had helped at the Temple of Mask.
The three people that because all three of them lived, didn't they?
Yeah, all three of them lived. I killed the boss guy,
Yeah.
and then we took down the demon. So I'm trying to find those three.
So you do me a favor, roll me an investigation check, asking around, looking around, etc.
Okay. Normal. Sorry, I was on advantage. I don't need the. Oh.
Walk around wearing that mask, asking that question has provoked the ire of many other people who identify you as you being the leader of Mask. Again, others with cool heads settle things down so things don't actually come to a fight or anything like that. But it's very clear that you wearing that mask in this place is seriously provoking people. Every room you walk into is kind of like on the brim. Nobody wants to friggin' help you at all. You were asked to leave the guild, not by the leader guy that you were just speaking to, but by the one that you had spoken to when you first walked in the place. Like, you can get out of here now. We don't need you here anymore.
Okay.
You're causing problems with your face. I can't even see your face. I can only imagine how fucked up that thing is. Get out of here.
Baeshra would probably punch that guy in the face.
You make an attack roll. That'd be fun.
Hold on. I'm typing the potion thing right now.
He's trying to let
Because
his
I know.
luck recharge.
No, I literally was typing the invisible potion right when you said that. Should I
Sure.
just roll? What should I roll for my attack? Any weapon?
Yeah, because you can use dexterity for it. So any dex weapon.
Okay.
Actually, you do punch the guy in the face, so you don't have to roll damage or anything. You do clip him in the face. And he's like, "Ah, trying to make me look like you, eh? Out now, before you be fucking eating your teeth."
At that, Baeshra's gonna take off the mask and snarl at him, and then put it back on.
Huh.
Like
And
full
then-
lizard face, like with the shiny tooth and the one tooth missing, just like, yeah, knock my teeth out, and then put his mask back on.
So imagine putting the mask back on. It's kind of like watching, like what's that movie? Home Alone. They try to put the pantyhose over their head. So,
Yeah, yeah. Should I roll intimidation on that? Because I'm obviously intimidating him.
Oh yeah. Intimidation. You go right ahead. Mm-hmm. That's so intimidating.
Do I get advantage by suddenly him seeing the lizard face?
No, you can roll.
It's an 11. It's not
Gotcha.
bad, but it's not good.
Yeah, you don't intimidate the guy. And once again, as you pull your pantyhose over your face, obviously that would lose its oomph anyways. So you make your way out of the facility. Obviously you weren't able to find them. Nobody wants to give you answers, etc. Do you just start heading back to the library, or do you go elsewhere?
I'm gonna go to the Temple of Gromish.
Sure. It takes a while for you to get there. You're not really... you are kind of a known person because you fucking fought your way through the city. So you're going to have you roll me a stealth check. Just navigate through the city. You're not invisible. But just a normal stealth check. It's not difficult for you to do. It's just kind of like if you see guards, avoid them. But they're all preoccupied. And they're looking for people, but not really looking for you. And you get the mask on. It's pretty easy for you to kind of like navigate yourself around. If somebody catches it, all right, what's that? You can kind of disappear. There's so much commotion here. You can get spotted a few times and disappear a few more times and not have it be too much of an issue. You inevitably find yourself to the Temple of Grumsh, right? It's not there.
It's destroyed?
The little shrine that was there, it at some point in time has been burned to the ground. There's nobody around it. Do you go up to it to investigate it at all or no?
If he can do so, he would look around first to make sure nobody is even anywhere near paying attention to the temple.
Not really. There's people. No, you're wrong. There are people because it's still like a half-populated city. but nobody that gives a fuck about that place.
Yeah, then he would investigate it.
Okay, roll me an investigation. Going in, kind of kicking things over, you can see that the place has been destroyed. The altar is heavily charred, but not fully destroyed, just because of the materials it was made out of. It's a combination of stone and like very heavily lacquered woods and whatnot. So, wood and whatnot. So the temple itself is heavily charred and damaged, but not completely destroyed. Everything else is just completely like burnt down. But you can actually see that the priest of the temple was held down by what is it, brick, like a board put on top of him and stones put on top of the board. You're not sure if that's what killed him or being burnt alive, pinned down by rocks on top of a board on top of him inside this place is what killed him. But the priest that was of this place is dead.
All right, then he'd head back to the Temple of the Mask and actually try and explore the actual temple itself.
Okay, so once again, a considerable amount of time passes as you sneak your way through the city. I need another stealth check. Every time you travel to a new place, there's a chance of things going poorly. I'm gonna roll that check.
It's not fun until Baeshra gets to fight.
I actually rolled awful. My natty number was a 6, so not high enough to notice you. You are able to slink all the way across it's actually not crazy far from A to B in this situation, but you're able to slink all the way over there and back into the temple, same as you did last time. You go walking in. There's the corpse on the ground. Nobody else in the room.
He's not going to pay attention to the corpse and actually try and explore to find hidden passageways and different stuff in this place.
Do you want to spend hours and take a 20 on your investigation?
Yep.
Do you remember beforehand how you only saw 3 people in the room and a 4th stepped out of nowhere?
Yep, the one in the dark corner.
Do you remember how when you were over in that dark corner, I had you roll a check and you did not roll high?
Yep.
When you're over in that dark corner investigating, and you go to check the wall to see like if there's any like loose stones or anything on the wall, your hand passes through it.
Well, cautiously and carefully, basically Baeshra would stick his head through and see if he could see anything before stepping through.
You stick your face in, and you can see there's a short hallway with 2 doors, one directly across, and one turning inwards in towards like the back area of the temple, like where the office and whatnot were, that are right inside there. You can take a step in, and when you turn around and look out, you can see slightly distorted, like you're looking through like barely wavy water. You can see the rest of the room, so you can see through to the other side from this side, but you're definitely behind an illusionary wall, so nobody would be able to see you where you're currently standing.
Okay. He's going to go through the door that goes to the back room first.
So not straight across, the one that kind of hooks to the left a bit. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you go over to the door. The door is locked. You can, Thieves' Tool. You don't have a rush on this one, so you can easily pick the lock. But do me a favor. Roll me a disabled device, a Thieves' Tool check anyways.
Dexterity.
Intelligence, please.
Intelligence?
Yeah, intelligence, yeah.
That's my worst roll.
Okay.
That's a -1.
Like I said beforehand, you spend the time that you need to, and you easily pick the lock. Not I shouldn't say easily. It takes you a couple minutes, but you're careful. You don't care. Nobody's coming back to this place. You killed the leader, and the other 3 were either taken captive, killed, or returned to the old guild. So you're the only one here. You're the only one that probably knows about this illusionary wall in this door here anyway. So fuck it. Scratch up the lock. Open it. Click. You open the lock, and you go inside.
Yep.
Going inside springs the trap.
I was gonna say, but cautiously, you wouldn't let me finish my sentence.
That's why I had you roll the Thieves' Tool check for with the intelligence to see if you would have noticed it from the other side. So you push open the door and it springs the trap. There was like a bit of a line that was on the inside of the door that kind of like triggered to where it was the lock. By unlocking the door the way you did, you actually engaged the trap. So as you open the door, it causes the trap to go off. The trap is meant to be both a warning and dangerous. Make me a Constitution save.
I don't think that's high enough, probably, but
1 second. I should have been looking this up beforehand. My apologies. Sorry. Where are you? Oh, that's why I need to do this. Go to this website so I can find it. Christian Jarpain. Oh. Okay, there you are. So all of a sudden, because you failed your saving throw, you're going to take this much damage. And you go... Where's your damage? There you are.
oh, you rolled high.
Yeah. You take 23 points of thunder damage, and immediately there's a huge crack of thunder. Thunder damage makes noise. There's a huge crack of thunder that can be heard upwards 300 feet away, and you are instantly teleported. Not where you were before, but instead into a cage. What the? Like, oh, your body aches, everything around you hurts. Oh, that hurts. And all of a sudden you look around and you're not where you were standing moments beforehand. You're inside of a cell. Ugh.
Time to try and break out quickly.
So the cell itself, looking at it, just trying to check it out and see if there's any locks or anything like that. The cell does not have any locks. You can just see it doesn't have any locks. It does have a slightly growing rune right where there would normally be like a place where you put a keyhole, leading you to believe it's probably held by magic. However, who has the word, the item, whatever it is that you might need to open this is likely dead or not around. So you just inside of a 5 by 5 by 8 cell.
Oh, this is so terrible for Baeshra. This is reminiscent of his past. He is pissed.
Mm-hmm. You're, of course, inside a dark room. You can see that there are 2 other cells in this room. Each of them are separated by about like an 8-foot gap between them. So there's 3 inside what otherwise would be a long and a wide but short room. So there's about an 8-foot gap between each of the 3 cells. And then there's only like about like maybe a 10-foot gap from the front of your cell. It's like where the opposing wall is. They would have a door to leave this room.
Well, first off, Baeshra's gonna rest. No.
A short rest?
No, he's gonna pull. He's gonna.
I mean, the whole place, you do have dark vision, right? So you can see in darkness. It is kind of like, you know, you do have, of course, the mask on, but...
Yeah.
But you can still see because it just doesn't filter light.
I guess he's going to look around for anything of use or anything that could help him.
Absolutely. Roll me a perception check, sir.
Come on. Are you kidding me? You toyed with me on that 18!
First, looking around, the first, like, 10 minutes or so of just trying to look for something. You find nothing. Or say first minute or so, looking around trying to find something, you find nothing. It's frustrating. I can't get out.
I'm gonna roll a strength check to try and bend the bars because that's what he's gonna try and do.
Do I have a prison bars image I can just throw on top of Tyler? Bars. There we go. Let's go.
I rolled a 17 on a strength check that I'm trying to pull the bars apart.
That ain't gonna work. That is not anywhere near enough. Not anywhere near enough, my friend. Oh, that's a good one. This is it's too small though. Oh, this is, oh no. Damn it.
Shouldn't have left that crowbar behind. That's what chat's telling me.
Shouldn't have left that crowbar behind.
I don't think that would have bent the bars anyway.
That's pretty legit though. Don't leave the crowbar. It's usually a good idea.
It's heavy and it makes a lot of noise.
I like this image because it has a funny little additive to it. So we're gonna grab this one. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna go boop. There you go, Tyler. This is for you. Put this here. On. Okay. I might be having a little bit too much fun with this. And perfect.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it even has the hands. Oh my gosh. You were awful. You were absolutely awful.
Oh, this is too good. Oh, sorry, Ty.
All right. After he gets his wits about him, he's gonna drink that greater healing potion again.
Of course. So anyways, you drink the healing potion.
Roll 4d4 plus 4.
Oh.
Right? That's what it is?
Correct, sir. So I just had way too much fun doing this.
14. I'm up to 40.
Beautiful.
Basically, if anybody comes across him, he's worried he's going to have to fight at this point, and he's going to continue looking around. He's trying to calm himself down, but he's in a panic.
Okay. So you are trying to calm down and everything, but you just don't get anything. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, time is going to pass.
Yeah.
How do you want to spend your time?
He's gonna calm down and eventually short rest.
Okay. At the end of your short rest, you can spend your HD, do what you got to do, so on and so forth. Heal back up the rest of the way. Why don't you, calming yourself down, kind of looking into the situation again? Why don't you roll me another perception check after you're done healing?
Of course, it took me 3 hit die, so I'm down to 3 hit die.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'll throw another perception in there.
I agree with you, Sinatra girl. I agree with you. Someone might say that he's in a bit of a pickle. Sounds really bad. Oh, I expect viewers to just drop after that one.
All right, I rolled 16. It's above a 15.
All right, so looking around the room, you notice something. You still have the mask on. At one point in time, you might even get frustrated and take the mask off. Calm down, calm down. And when you look around, you notice that the runes that you'd seen on the door aren't there. Baeshra's not the brightest bulb in the box, but he's also not a complete idiot. He's pretty wise. Which is...
It slips on easily. Don't even try to do the pantyhose thing.
And when you put your mask back on, you notice the runes again.
Baeshra's gonna draw his bow and actually shoot at the rune.
No, the runes are just outside. Like if you see your hands on the bars, if you just want to slide.
Oh, they're just
hands,
outside.
Yeah,
all right.
But because you see those runes, you kind of like take a moment. Like, oh, this is allowing me to see other things inside this room. I literally the mask of the leader of this place. And looking about, you can actually see, that paying closer attention, kind of like little waves of magic between these runes and other areas in the room. You see the runes on the other side over there, runes on the other side over there. Then you can see across the way, like I said, it's like a 10-foot wide gap over to like the opposite wall, where there's a door. On that opposite wall, there's a desk. In the desk, you see that there's a couple like the typical 2 drawers sort of a situation, but just like in the back of like the desk is kind of like a backing to it. There's a bit more shelves overhead. You can see there's 3 runes that are set up across there as well.
Let's look at the rune that's there and look at the rune that's across the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna roll an intelligence check because I want to see if Baeshra can actually figure it out. I think he did. I set the DC as a 10. It had to be above average. It's just a matching game.
I was actually going to have you roll the intelligence check in general. It's not exactly a matching game. So the rooms across the way aren't a perfect match to the rooms that are here. There are rooms across the way. But it's actually... So if you imagine the runes that you have here are comprised of a couple different shapes. Those are the different shapes up there. So it's 3 and 3. But it's almost like the rune that's in front of you is layered. And those are the 3 different pieces that you would use to layer them the correct way. And so you get the idea with your intelligence check of the order in which you need to hit the runes or activate the runes. To
right, left, middle.
That sort of a thing. Sure, right, left, middle works.
All right. Time to take my shots. I'm going to activate Heartseeker. I'm kidding. I'm just gonna shoot.
I mean, you can activate Heartseeker. It doesn't say it has to attack a living target. So you can, just to get advantage so you don't fuck up. Do you want to do that?
Nah.
Okay.
I have throwing darts
Sure.
as well.
What's the range of a throwing dart? I think it's 10, 20 feet, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's 20 feet, so you're good.
How do I do a throwing dart attack? Just any attack?
Yeah, it's just a Dex plus proficiency. So do you have a
Alright.
dart on your character sheet?
Yeah, I have throwing darts.
Let me just make sure that's correct for you. Because your Dex is what, +3, and your proficiency is +3, so yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
So 16, you throw the first dart, hits the first rune, no problem. You can see that the other 2 runes start to flicker and waver. You can tell the magic's been activated. You get the impression you have a very limited amount of time to finish this effect. Except you didn't just activate the rune by touching it, you punctured the rune. If you don't complete this quick enough, it might cause problems.
All right, he's gonna go ahead and activate Heartseeker then.
And shoot the second one.
Yep.
So you pull it this row and actually... Perfect shot.
He's gonna do so again.
Hit the second one. And you hit the third one. I literally had the AC set at 16 for each of them. It's hilarious you rolled that twice in a row and then you beat it the third time. So using 2 out of your 3 Heartseekers for the day, you're able to successfully, it's the dart and then all of a sudden, clink, your door opens up.
He's out. He's out quickly.
Yep, you're able to easily get out, go over, and unlock so go to the door across the way. Of course, the door leaving this place is locked as well. They have to have something set up to, stop prisoners from just getting out too easily in case there was an accidental release.
Baeshra's gonna go over and actually search that desk.
Sure. Roll me an investigation check, sir. Unless you just want to take 2 minutes.
He'd take his time. If he saw that other door is locked, he'd think there's something in the desk that could help him get out.
Yep. And you're not wrong, actually. You do actually get through the desk, and it is one of those things where if you open the drawer 2/3 and you open this drawer 1/3, you eventually realize that's literally what you need to do to release the lock from this side if you don't have a key. It's kind of like a default release. So it actually does unlock the door for you and releases the trap that otherwise would have hit you. So you kind of like figure it out and you line it up like, okay, this one first and then this one next, and you're able to figure it out so you can open the door safely.
All right.
As for in the desk itself, you actually do find some stuff inside the desk. Just looking over really quickly, you can see that there are little bits of information, notes, so on and so forth. Stuff that probably isn't useful to Baeshra, at least not right now, but it's details about persons that exist in the area of the realm. So that could be used for maybe, assuming the people are still alive or it's still current information, blackmail or stealing of information or whatever in the future. To the right bidder.
He pocket him. Anything that's worthwhile. Obviously, he's versed in thieves guilds, and as an urban bounty hunter, makes sense.
Oh, you personally can use that shit. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
He's going to actually peer out the door and not immediately rush out. He wants to make sure somebody hasn't come to check on the cages.
The door is obnoxiously squeaky. It's just designed to be that way. It's very squeaky, almost like they rusted it out perfectly in that spot and added in sand or something to cause like the gritting, squeaky noise.
And in moving the door, he would have his dagger out ready, just in case.
And looking about, you see nothing. You hear nothing. You're not sure where you are, and then you open it up further and look and see. You're like, oh, there's a short hallway in front of me, and that's it. It leads to another door.
All right, he's gonna make his way up there carefully and slowly, keeping his wits about him and listening and peering at any which direction.
Okay, you open up that door. This door looks like a normal door on this side. On the other side, it looks like a portion of wall, and it swings quietly and effortlessly. It's actually a false wall, secret door leading into the office, which I described to you beforehand. You've been in beforehand of this small temple.
Oh, so they found another hidden door.
So it was a prison hidden within the office of the of this small temple.
Nice. All right, he's gonna shut the door behind him and go back to the hidden door that he went through last time.
Take away all my funds, Noel. Fine. Be gone.
I think the prison bars can be removed now. Oh my god. Oh, this is a torturous task for Baeshra. You have literally thrown him in all of the scenarios he hates. Literally in closed spaces, trapped, negotiating with people that he doesn't necessarily trust, and then then having to punch somebody who's being prejudiced against him. Goodness gracious.
It's okay. Noel steals all the fun. So I'm glad that you're suffering. It's entertaining for all of us. And I mean that clear. But Noel will henceforward be known as Pickle Sniffer. That's just how it goes. She's the one that started the conversation, I believe, and if not, I'm putting it on her anyways.
All right,
So.
He's gonna go back to where he got trapped. This time, paying much more attention and making sure there's no more traps through that door that he had already opened that put him in that cage.
Sure. So you go back over to that door. So you come out of the office. You go back over, walk through the invisible door, go over there, and you investigate it. And you realize, okay, no. There's no more traps or anything in here. And actually, that door opens into. Actually, doesn't really squeak. Opens into a small little room with a comfortable chair sitting inside of it. And there's actually a tiny little pair of holes that can be seen with a bit of like a wooden structure underneath it. For you imagine when you go to the optometrist,
It's like a viewing look.
Exactly.
Viewing hole.
So it's like one of those, and you look through it and you see in, and you can actually see you're literally looking through the tapestry that's behind the desk of the same office you just came through the secret door of the other side of. But the tapestry is woven very thinly in that spot, so you can see through it, kind of like if you were looking through like a low quality shirt. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so even you see through it even better than this is here. You can kind of get into details. But more importantly, the wall that you're in, you can, well, I suppose you wouldn't really get that part, but just to give a bit more information, the stone that's used to make this wall right here is designed to reverberate the sound out easier, so you actually hear the conversation fairly clearly through the wall and see what's going on in that room. So you could spy on the office from this door. And trying to break into the spying room would lock you into a prison cell on the other side of the office.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the door that's when you walk through the invisible wall to your left. What about the door that was straight across?
He would carefully investigate the heck out of that before he did anything else. He would take his time and just be like, what is this? Poking at every bit, looking at every single thing.
Roll me an investigation check, sir. Or with advantage, because you're being careful and slow. Because your time is not enough of the essence for you.
I rolled low still.
Okay, so you go over there and you start looking through, trying to see if there's any traps or anything. You don't find any. But also, the door isn't locked. There's a lock there, but it doesn't look engaged.
He's going to open it and step back.
You know,
yep. Open it, step back, and have his like sword out ready now.
As soon as you open the door and kind of like jump back a little bit, you hear a strange noise from the other side. It's kind of like a growl or a guttural grunt. It's hard to make out exactly what it is, but you hear something strange coming through that door. Certainly something has noticed you.
Baeshra readies his dagger, putting his poison on it. So the dagger of venom, he's putting his poison on it and having it as the ready, and then he's going to step through. Okay.
You get it at the ready and you go to step through. When you step through, you see that inside this room, there once again is a cage inside of it. Actually, 2 cages, but only one of them has a creature inside of it. Before I describe that, look inside the room, you see there are 2 cages in the room. You also see that there's a bit of equipment inside the room as well, similar to before, like a desk that's kind of off to the side, and so on, with some supplies on it. Looks to be like, you can actually see there looks to be a whip that's over there. You can see a couple of other items, whatever. Looking at the cages, they're wide and they're tall in the sense that they're about 5 feet tall, which I think is shorter than Baeshra. But they're wide, shorter. About 8 or 9 feet wide and about 9-10 feet deep. Both the cages. They're separated pretty far from one another. The one to the far right is empty. The one to the left has, I want to call it a bear. No, it looks like it could be like a black bear, like almost like a man-sized bear. But
Would it be a nature check?
No, not a nature check. It gives you less impression of a bear looking at it because it's not furry enough. The fur's tighter, closer, the muscular structure, more like a dog, like a mastiff, like a massive mastiff. Again, man-sized. But it doesn't seem to be of this world. It's it's opaque, but slightly translucent. A dark gray in color that you can just barely kind of see through. However, you get the impression the only reason why you can see it at all is because of the mask that you wear. Take a moment, you pull off the mask and you look at it, it's completely invisible. Take the mask and...
It's fine now. He's done it multiple times. It's stretched.
You put it back on and it's you can see it again.
Baeshra, having been somebody who grabs food off the ground, sees a few rats, eats some himself, and grabs, looking about the room, is there any food or anything for it that he would recognize nearby?
So you look about the room and you can see over on the table, like I said, there's that, what is it called? Like a whip that's sitting there and stuff. You actually do look and you see there's a strange box that's over in the area. I say strange because when you look at it, it's a bit of like an iron box, a little lock onto it. It's not on the desk, my apologies, like underneath it. It has a bit of a lock onto it, but you can see almost like wisps coming off of the box itself. Wisps of like shadow.
First thing Baeshra's gonna do is pick up the whip and show it to the creature and then throw it away.
Okay, you pick up the whip. As soon as you pick up the whip, the creature sits down and looks at you.
Instead of throwing it away, he's gonna put it on his waist.
The creature is no longer growling, but looks at you with full attention.
And then he's gonna take the box out and pull the box out from under the desk and see how it reacts.
Pull the box out from under the desk. It's looking at you intently. Roll me a insight check. Animal handling check.
Why did you go off of the 11 to the 4, you dick die?
You get no read off the thing.
All right. He's gonna carefully unlock the box.
Okay. Again, it takes a while. If you want to just take 2 minutes, you can just open it rather than rolling. Do you want to just take time? Because
I'm gonna roll, and if I get it, then I'll take. If I don't get it, I'll take time.
Okay.
Is it a dex roll or
Yes.
intelligence?
Dex.
I got it.
You look at the thing and you're like, "Oh, I know this lock." Pop it open in 3 seconds, not even trying. And so you just pop it open, and so the lock just clicks open, and inside you actually see, it's kind of a strange sight. You actually see there's a cat inside the box that also seems to be comprised of a similar material to whatever it is that one is. However, it's much darker, fully opaque, looks like the dark gray color, but if you were to pull your mask up and look at it, you can definitely fully see the cat. Anyways, you see the cat sitting inside the thing, and as you open up the box, the thing looks at you and is like, but like has a bit of almost like a wisped kind of otherworldly sound to it. You open the box, you immediately hear panting behind you. You look up, you can see that the thing is salivating and drooling.
He's gonna. Is there more than one in there, or just the one? Baeshra is going to do an experiment. He's going to take the cat out of the box very carefully and hold on to it tightly, close the box, and reopen the box.
There's nothing there right now.
There's nothing new in it?
Correct.
So essentially he has one thing to feed this thing. Yeah, is it Schrodinger's cat? He's gonna carefully put the cat back in the box. And he's gonna have the whip in hand, have the cat in the other hand. No, he's gonna put the cat back in the box, shut the box, have the whip in hand. And is there a way to unlock the cage?
Actually, there is. When you go over and you look at the like desk next to you, there's actually a key. Unlike beforehand, there's a key that you can use to go and unlock it.
He's gonna gauge how the creature is reacting as he unlocks it, and uses his foot to make sure the cage stays shut, and has the whip in hand ready to strike at it if something goes bad. He doesn't like that he has a whip. He absolutely hates that he has a whip, but he understands that it's being obedient because he has it, which is the only reason he has it.
Of course. It's not slavery if it's an animal, but I understand that you're just general aversion to such things in general anyways. Yeah. So you open up the cage, and the thing, as soon as you open up the cage, takes a step before you and just sits down. You said you put the cat back in the box?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it couldn't go over and get the cat.
Correct.
Baeshra's going to ponder this for a second, and he's actually going to try and communicate with it to see if it understands commands.
Sure. What do you say to it?
Lay down.
Okay. The thing, it kind of gives like a little bit of a snort of like like a dog that's like, I don't want to do tricks right now. I want to play or eat something, and kind of gives it a little bit of like a slight indignant snort and lies down.
Baeshra's gonna wrap the whip around his arm and have his arms down there and carefully reach down to touch the beast.
You place your hand onto the beast, and at first it starts to pass through it. But then you realize it's not that it's an illusion. Don't get me wrong. It's not that the thing is smaller than it looks. It's just that it's not solid on the outside. It's technically there on its outermost layer. But your hand kind of reaches into its outermost layer, and you kind of like find the physical form, maybe like an inch down into its form. And that's where you find that solid layer. So it almost looks like your hand is passing into darkness, like shadow itself. It disappears from sight. But then you can feel the head, and you can pet it, and give it ear scratches, and all that fun stuff.
He would scratch it, and he would spend a solid amount of time figuring out this animal in this room before putting it back in its cage, and maybe even resting for the night before heading back.
This creature is a Shadow Mastiff, and it 100% will do everything that you ask it to, because that is you have a whip that tells it that it's so you kind of devise this over because you're going to spend a lot of time once again kind of figuring this out. You realize that the whip that you have makes it so that the creature is going to listen to your commands no matter what, but the mask that you have makes it so that the creature is going to see you as its alpha.
Oh, Baeshra got a pet.
However, the thing does occasionally look over at the box because it's been trapped here for days, and gives like a whimper.
Baeshra's gonna open, make sure the door's shut behind him, so this thing, from what he understands, won't get out of the room. And he's gonna have it go back in its cage and sit, and stay. And he's gonna take out the cat and set it down. Inside the other cage with the door open.
Sure.
And then tell the Mastiff to seek.
Like, more or less get it?
Yep.
Well, it gets it. It grows out the thing. And the thing eats its food. Now, you personally like that. Ooh,
yep.
Cool.
Yep.
You like.
I am one with this beast. Baeshra is one with this beast.
The only it's not that your character likes watching animals. Like, it's not like it's porn for you, right? It's just that you enjoy a good kill, you enjoy a good hunt. So Correct. I don't want to say it's disappointing because it's not like you're looking for carnage. But one thing that kind of strikes you as strange is as it tears apart the cat, and like the cat clearly is killed, it dissipates into like a poof of shadow that's kind of like amorphously kind of floating around, and you see the Mastiff puts its face into the shadow and just starts kind of like huffing. Like, you know, dogs have like a reverse sneeze, like a
Yeah.
it starts like huffing inside of it.
When they're breathing.
And it snorts the shadow into itself, and you can see the Mastiff grows like a bit stronger. You know what I mean? It grows like, it doesn't look as emaciated as you didn't realize it did before, because it was so impressive in size. It doesn't look as emaciated as it did in moments before him. Its teeth, which are maybe a bit yellowish beforehand, are far less so, and so on. And look at the overlay on. Look at Twitch, Tyler.
Hey, that's a fierce-looking hound.
And remember, it's about the size of a black bear. You know what I mean? A little bit small.
Yeah, that's a big...
Like a tall Newfie. You know, if anybody ever here seen a Newfoundland, like a tall Newfie. So, anyways, the hound will listen to you. But one of the things that you note is that, again, you take your mask off, the thing is invisible to your eyes.
Yeah. That's very beneficial for what Baeshra wants to do with it now.
It's now nighttime. Do you wish to make your way back to the library? Yeah. You check both rooms. You check everything.
Yep. Is there any other? Because the curious thing that Baeshra has, he just gave it its only food that he knows he has.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know of any other food that could perhaps be found. He would want to talk to Vicelor and Thonk about this and have this creature with him. So he would probably head back with the creature actually by his side. And as he got close to the library, take his invisibility potion and make his way in.
How do you get into the library, sir? What's your plan here? What's your approach?
Well, that rope is still there. Can I search somewhere for a rope in the town before I head that way?
Yeah, absolutely. You can easily find rope. You don't have to purchase it or anything like that. You just kind of like look around and eventually find it.
Okay. The question is, how would the Mastiff get into the building?
It's a good question. You don't know necessarily its full abilities, what it's capable of, so on and so forth. But one of the things you can kind of figure out pretty quickly is it's not like it can fly or walk up walls or anything like that.
So we'd have to carry it. Or thought that box that the cat was in.
Mm-hmm.
How big is that box?
Looks about the size. Have you ever seen like a personal safe, like a carryable personal safe? You usually kind of put like maybe the deed to your house in or something like that. It's about maybe the interior of the safe is probably about 14 inches by 14 inches by 12 inches, and the exterior is a bit more than that because it's pretty friggin' thick and fireproof. So kind of like that size. Now that you're thinking about it, the cat looked up at you and seemed pretty comfortably able to fit inside that box. But it was definitely a larger cat than that when you had taken it out.
He's going to look at
size, like calico or whatever, when you had taken it out.
He's going to look at the Mastiff, open the box and say, and Baeshra will literally look at it and ask it, just go, can you fit in there comfortably? And just point at it and kind of point at him and point at that.
The Mastiff looks at you and nods. Like,
in.
It doesn't look happy. It clearly doesn't like the idea of being in a confined space. But as it like takes a step in, you can see it's kind of like it looks like it's supposed to step in it. It looks funny because as it steps into it, it looks like it was always supposed to be able to step into it and be small enough. And it's funny because you have this fierce-looking Mastiff beast that's now about the size of a min pin inside this box. And you have it inside there, and you can. The box itself is not light. It weighs about 12 pounds, 13 pounds. So it's not like it's a light thing, but you can definitely carry it with you.
Yeah, and that's Baeshra's plan, is to grab that, take the potion, and head back towards the wall, using rope to kind of fit it to where it's kind of can hang on his back. How long does the potion of invisibility last?
An hour.
Okay. So he's gonna approach about halfway there without the invisibility, taking his time as it's dark and stuff like that before he gets there. So I'm guessing I need to roll stealth.
So you walk about half the distance with the Mastiff and then put him inside the box, or you put him inside the box and then walk?
He's gonna be outside of the box until I have to put him in the box. It literally was inside there to see if he could fit in there.
Okay.
So we'd have him get out, close the box, put it on his person, and make his way out towards the library.
Okay. So you make you know, of course, do all that stuff that you just described. But there's one more thing. I imagine your character would have also looked for the key to this box, so you don't have to pick it every time.
Yes, he would have looked through all of that, and everything in that room.
Yeah, and you would have found the key to open the little box. Actually, not in there. You didn't realize it beforehand because you didn't have the mask on before. But you actually finds the key is made out of like a steel key that looks like it's also made out of shadow on the dead body of the person you took the mask off of originally.
Oh, it was like around where his head would be, his neck.
It was like at his waist, you know. So you took the mask, and the mask more or less unveiled a bunch of shit for you, which is cool. So, anyways, you make your way most of the way back there, no problem, no problemo, eh? It's nighttime, but you're invisible when you get there. That doesn't matter. You grab rope along the way. Cool story, bro. But how are you going to get back up into the place?
Hence the grappling hook that he kept.
It's true. So, front door, there's a bunch of people. Sides, there's people. Back, there's a cliff.
Well, he's going to go... The building is not right on the edge. Obviously, there would be space between that building and that ledge. So he could possibly climb up to that ledge and then go up the back, correct?
It's not like a crazy amount of space. It's less than 10 feet, but yes. Just because if you built it on the ledge and that structure broke, you'd lose the building. So it's like 8, 10 feet, something like that.
So at the base of that cliff, he's going to have the Mastiff get in the box.
What's in the box?
He's going to close the box, strap it onto his back, and use the grappling hook to throw up to get it to land at the top of the cliff.
Yep. That's pretty easy for you to do because you're so far away. There's no concerns about like where you are down there. You can pretty easily do that. Yeah, it's trial and error. And then you can climb up. I do have to make you roll this check with advantage, athletics, just because it's a penalty for failing. No problem. Easy to climb up the rope. Easy to climb up the rope.
Doubles.
So you grab the top of the cliff in that 8-10 foot gap, and then there's the building above you. There are windows off the back of this building as well out here because they would oversee over in the bay area, and because that does face to the southeast, a lot of sun would rise from up there, so it takes the most light that brings into the library that way. Up on this ledge, you're not alone. There are others here too, and there are others here that have their own keen are also keen on trying to climb up this wall. As a matter of fact, they've been working on it for a short period of time. They have 3 ladders set up as ways to kind of like get partway up the building. They have a bit of scaffolding about 20 feet up the building, which is about 10 feet shy of where the first window really is. And then they also have like some thrown grappling hooks and ropes hanging from different areas. Coming up to this cliff here, looking about, you see there are 7 people that are here, that are trying to scale up to one of these windows to break in, or maybe to the roof themselves, trying to establish some sort of entrance.
Baeshra is still going to want to get on top before he engages with them. He's going to try and use their instruments as best he can,
sure,
without getting in their way, and then trying to get up to the roof itself.
So using their instruments, you're not going to be able to have advantage on stealth. You're going to be rolling normal stealth checks because the creaking, they're looking at them, they're using them as well, tight spaces, etc., etc., etc. So you're welcome to make a stealth check to climb. Chat is talking about naming the Mastiff.
He'll be named. It'll be named once we consult Vicelor. Trust me, Baeshra will have a name by that point because he's going to play around with him before he goes to sleep in the library.
Well, I was going to say, we've already used Barbara, and we've already used Trini. Is there anybody else? Any other names? And
It's
by the
not
way,
gonna.
it's gender. I'll let you choose its gender. That doesn't matter. So I'll let you have fun with that one.
Well, yeah, but I'm gonna pick a name, and it's gonna be my name. It's not gonna be one that irritates Wade.
Oh,
I'm
come
gonna be
on.
nice. I'm
Come
gonna be
on.
nice.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna be nice.
Oh, can we name it Molly? Come here, Molly. Come here. Come here.
No, I don't. I
Yeah,
honestly
I like Molly.
don't
She's
want to
actually
do that.
she's a really nice person.
She's awesome,
Yeah.
and also I also know that there's a drug called Molly, so I don't want that either.
There you go. Like, whoa, what happened to him?
I
Molly,
honestly
man.
am very
Molly.
tempted to name this Mastiff Matilda after my first dog that I ever had, and it's just like super.
See, but Matilda is like a legit good movie too. Like, eat the cake.
Yeah, and it's magic related, so.
Oh, I like it. I like it. But we'll see, because you could also go Danny DeVito if you do that. All right. So your stealth check is actually pretty good. Climbing up the ladder, getting to the platform that it's like kind of the scaffolding they established beforehand, which is still, again, a bit of a drop, what did I say, 20 feet shy or whatever, of the first window. They have grappling hooks set up in other areas, but currently you have people trying to, literally while you're sitting on the scaffolding, there's a person that's up here trying to set up their own little ladder up to that window, but it's like a 18-foot ladder. They're trying to like establish and angle it in a way that more or less they have to be stepping around, and so where it's kind of like hooked in. They have to step around off the ledge of the scaffolding and kind of stand outside the scaffolding, but on the actual secondary ladder to start climbing up from there towards the window. That's literally what the person's doing as you're coming. They're kind of like situating it and kind of like.
I have this is a meta question, but I kind of want to just push him off, and I don't know if that's an aggressive action if I just push, like, casually just step in and push the ladder like a wind blew.
It is.
Darn it.
Because you would be pushing him. Mm-hmm.
All right. Baeshra's actually going to throw his grappling hook to try and get it on the roof then.
So instead of doing that, instead of trying to push this guy, you're going to try to maybe throw it up there. Now, again, you're only about 20 feet up with the scaffolding here. So the roof is still, like I said originally, 85 feet. So your 85 minus 20 is, 65. Your rope is only about 50 feet long.
Where's
so you still
the
have to get higher
windows?
up. There's another 20-foot climb, which is the ladder thing he's trying to situate it to get to the first window.
Okay, then he's going to try and get past this guy.
So the guy literally just finishes situating the ladder. You're going to what? Try to like juke around, sidestep, and climb up?
He's going to try and jump. Or if anything, he's going to climb inversed and then flip around to the other side.
I need an acrobatics rolled normal and a stealth rolled because he's actively using this thing with disadvantage. That's right. I know he's invisible. I don't care. I don't care about your rules. Fuck your rules.
Acrobatics wasn't very good.
It's okay. You're doing with your acrobatics is not very hard. You're literally just kind of flipping around the thing. I was looking to see if you failed, to see if you'd fall. It's not like that rope thing that you would see at a fair where it like flips on you constantly.
Yeah.
I always get like so close to the top of like, actually you have to get your foot on this rung. I'm like,
It's still a pretty good stealth. I got lucky there. It's still a 19.
it's a really good stealth. So you are climbing up this thing, so you kind of juke around. It's literally one of those, you go up to the thing, the guy just finishes it from underneath it, situating it. And he goes over to like grab up his own rope that he's going to do. And kind of looks down to the people down below. He's like, all right, I'm trying it. Someone get up here and hold this thing for me. And like as he's like bent down yelling that out, you kind of go over and just like, all right. Going up the ladder, and then like literally as he kind of climbs onto the base of it down below, anchoring the bottom, giving it a bit of weight, you're kind of like, throwing your way around it. If you were a smaller person, have you like come through it and then turn around and.
Yeah, he can't do that.
You're a broad boy. So
Yep.
So you kind of like come around the thing, try to use his weight, and he feels the whole thing shift under him. He's like, oh shit, oh fuck, and that was literally your shifting of the weight. However, he's like, someone get up here now, let's go, come on, I'm not dying over this shit, and he kind of like stays at the bottom as you make your way back up to the top, and he feels the thing shifting as you step off of it once again. But he honestly thinks it's the shifting of this thing and the scaffolding moving and the people climbing the ladder to get onto the scaffolding. So he believes it's that. You're now on the windowsill.
Yep.
Somebody comes up behind you and is like, "Jeez, motherfucker!" And it grabs the thing and holds it, pins it, so the guy can start climbing up the ladder. It's only like an 18-foot ladder. It's going to take him only moments to climb up it. But imagine he's moving cautiously. He's scared.
Yep.
He's on a painter.
Baeshra's gonna make his throw. He essentially wants to get a grappling hook, get onto the roof, and then just rain arrows down on these guys because he would feel safer on top of the roof than inside the window, and he'd have a better vantage point. And plus, he could easily climb back down and utilize whatever tools were there and get back to the ledge if you left the grappling hook to get back inside through the window.
The hard part about this is you're going to have to like lean out and spin it and then throw it up. And there's a lot less area to kind of catch on to. You have to get something that's kind of like sticking out a little bit or try to get enough of a loop to it, which is really hard to do considering the distance, to have it like loop around and cling on to something to grapple. So I'm going to have you make me a check, sir. Beforehand, I had you make me an attack roll. I'm going to have you do the same thing again.
I'm making an attack roll?
That's how I had you do the lassoing before, right? Isn't that how I did it when you were going to the building that you fell off of?
I think you did an athletics check.
Was it? Let me just check. Athletics is how you fell when you climbed. It was a dexterity check.
It was a dexterity check, yeah. So just a standard dex. And you said you would have like the attack modifier on it.
No, I changed the DC to remove that. That's what I did.
Yeah. All right. Normal dex check.
It's a higher check.
Oh!
First try! I wanted the thing to drop down and hit somebody and then attack you. I was looking for some end of session combat. God damn it. First try. Loops it up sideways, comes up, misses your original target, and lands just after it onto like the gutter, you know, where we catch there. You heard pull as the guy's coming up, and you're like, oh boy, I can grab this thing and kind of like swing out from where I am and very far away from where he is, and still like kind of be free hanging to climb up from there.
Baeshra's gonna tie it around his waist. And instead of, he would actually pull out his bag.
You stopped to tie it around your waist?
Yep.
The guy is now at almost all the way up the ladder. If you stop to tie it around your waist, it's very likely he's going to be like, what the fuck is that?
Well, while he ties it around this waist, he's going to kick the ladder down.
The dude, right? Because you'll kick the dude because he's like, because the ladder's just shy of the lip. So like kicking him would kind of like kick it sideways sort of a thing. That's awesome. Do me a favor, sir. Roll me a strength check. You have advantage because you can line up your shot, plan it out perfectly as you're like leaning against the side and getting ready for it.
Can I just roll my bite attack? Because that's a strength check anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's got a +3 modifier, by the way.
Yeah. So you boot the guy. Oh, you didn't roll with advantage.
Oh yeah, I forgot about advantage. Sorry. And it went lower.
So,
can I take the original roll? I hate that.
So you boot the guy from the side. He's like, ah! But the other guy's like, whoa! And like grabs it. He's like, dude! He's like, I don't know who the hell are you? And like all of a sudden, this is the moment where they realize there's a dude there who's tying a knot around his waist, trying to kick him off, like kick his and he doesn't get knocked down. He himself is like 40 feet up in the air. You know, doesn't want to fall down and die. And you're all of a sudden there. I need one more check from you before we do anything else. Roll me your dexterity check to tie that knot quickly.
Just regular dexterity, right?
Correct. Actually, don't roll it yet. When it's time that it matters, that's when I'll have you roll it.
I'm rolling it right now.
No. It won't matter. When it matters how well you rolled it, that's when we'll see how well you rolled it. Because it might impact your next action if you know if it's a good knot or not.
Well, I mean, my main action here is to keep kicking the ladder.
You might keep kicking, or you might want to jump, or you might want to do something else. You don't know. So
I'm going to keep kicking. That's my literal action, what I wanted to do.
What I need you to do is roll initiative.
Okay. I don't have a mini.
You don't have a mini on this map, do you? Okay.
No, you need to give me a mini.
I think you can actually drag and drop yourself.
I don't know how to do that.
I'll do it. Baeshra, boom. Oh, you don't even have a... That's lame.
I put myself in there.
I'm going to delete that guy.
All right. What happened to the other ones? Pull them from the other map.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, because that was lame.
Okay. Do you not have a building map that we can use here? Just a standard building that I'm standing on top of? Or
No.
Okay.
No basics for that.
I love how 3D this is going to be. There's so many people below me, and I'm just up top on this ledge. Like.
There you go.
All right. Let me click on this guy and roll my initiative.
Random Warrior A. Random Warrior B. Cool. I'm also going to do initiative. Oh, you rolled a really good initiative, sir. So
I mean, I have advantage because of my short bow of warning. So I rolled a 15 and a 17 and had a +3. So that's how I got the 20.
So I can put this in a place that's not obnoxious. On the overlay. Put it. Here's not bad. It's gonna be a little invisible, which is fine because of how it is like green screen stuff, but it's at least visible enough that people can see it. So
also, Anubis, the others are inside the library. They've been doing their own battles while I've been out here taking care of other stuff that actually has been quite helpful as far as I can tell so far, because I just found a beast that seems from another dimension that perhaps I can have my friends figure things out without harming, or else I'll kill them.
So you get to act first. You literally can just keep stomping that guy if you want.
Yep, I'm gonna kick at it again.
You don't have advantage. You're no longer invisible. But you roll a much better check than the last time. Give me a second.
And for the record, I'm trying to kick it straight out. Like as far straight out as I can, so he would fall backwards off the cliff.
Oh, as opposed to sideways?
Yeah, it's straight out. Like straight back.
Okay. So you give him the big old boot. That's like a 75-foot drop.
Yep.
I mean, like that's pretty awful.
This is Baeshra.
How do you survive a 75-foot drop? I mean, that'll kill him. But Baeshra would be like, "Ow, dude." I mean,
yeah, that would be less than half my health.
Who's Mortifer? I don't know. Should I just
Is Heartseeker only come back after a long rest?
Correct. And you have one use left of it.
Correct.
So you boot the guy, and he's now because we're allowing you to use your bite action. I allow you to use your bite check, but it's still your standard. Sorry, your main action to do this. So that was not your bonus. Do you do anything with your bonus or your move?
My bonus action, I would probably make sure I tied the knot and went towards the roof.
Since you are going to confirm that you tied the knot, I'll allow you to roll your check now. Dexterity check.
Do I have advantage because I confirmed it?
No, it's already rolled. It's an okay knot.
It's not the best knot, but I'm also grabbing the rope and climbing up.
Correct. It's something that might save you in a pinch if need be. So you check the knot, make sure it's good, and you kind of like kick out and swing away a bit and start climbing up.
Yep.
Okay. So because again, you threw it kind of like sideways and it went up and caught onto something, like it caught past your target. As soon as you jump out, you end up swinging across the building, and it's like a pendulum. Unfortunately, you can slow it down by like using your feet, your body, whatever it is, so you don't pendulum too much. You don't want to spend too much time swinging. You want to start climbing, right? So you pendulum a little bit, go past where it is that the rope's straight, kind of come back and settle in pretty quickly, and you start clambering up. This first round, you only climb about half your speed because you that's using your movement and your bonus and everything as we described because of the pendulum effect. So you go up about 15 feet, putting you from the ground. We had originally said about 40 feet up. Now you're about 65 feet up. Sorry, about 55 feet up, shy of the 85 that you need to be on the ledge and climbing up. Right. That is your turn. The people down below are like, what the? And so they quickly go over and grab at their weapons. They don't have bows necessarily, but they do have crossbows and javelins and whatnot. So I have two groups of people. As I had described, there being how many trying to climb up this place? 7, right?
Yep, 7.
One is now dead. So you have 3 people firing with crossbows and 3 of them throwing javelins. The javelin ones, because of your height, are going to have disadvantage. The next round, they probably won't even be able to throw them anymore. So the 3 with the crossbows are going to attack you. And because you're climbing, do you have disadvantage? No, nothing like that. It's just normal attack because you have the athletics ability. So, a light crossbow does D8, right? Yeah.
And they still have to beat an AC of 17.
Correct. Hold on, I gotta do my third attack because it was annoying. I have it set up. So. Okay, and then I'm gonna do my next 3 attacks against you. This is disadvantage. This is with the javelins. And this does D6 damage. And the last one, because I'm only doing 2 at a time instead of 3, which is easier because I'm a dummy. Okay. Needless to say, all 3 javelins thrown up at you. Like the first one is thrown and you pendulum past it, bing, and it falls off. The second one is thrown and you kind of look down and see it coming. You kind of like swing out to the side, bang off the wall. The third one is thrown and you just kind of like climb up and it falls way short of you. I rolled horribly, and 6 total. So the third one easily misses you as well. No problem there. As for the crossbow bolts, the first one fired and bangs off the wall like right by your head. Like,
woo!
Like AC 16, you know, like, oh shit. However, the second one comes out and pierces the inner thigh, and it doesn't hit like an artery or anything, but definitely cuts your leg inside. 8 points of damage to you. And the third one goes and AC 15 pings off the wall over by your hip and doesn't hit you. It is now your turn, Baeshra.
First thing I'm going to do is, would my bonus action get me to the top? You said I got halfway.
So you only have like what 25 feet or whatever I said it is to get to the top. You climb at full speed. So you can bonus action to dash, but you have to move first. So your move speed would get you to the top.
Okay, then I'll just move and get to the top.
Okay. Now that you're on the top, you kind of like can roll me a athletics to climb up over the lip. Oh, roll me athletics to climb up to the top and get over my apologies.
Normal, right?
Mm-hmm. It's weird that when I type things, it says lost initiative show.
16.
So I usually just let Mike be lost initiative show and I just be me. So anyways, 16, you're able to climb up a rope, no problem, with a 16 and get yourself over that lip. So you did your whole movements to get there and over the lip, and you're standing there, you still have your bonus and your action. 15 feet still from the actual flat area, the safe, secure area. You're on like the third roof, more or less, because remember it's flat, tilted, the heavy tilt.
Baeshra is going to hold on to the rope with one hand and make sure that knot is tight.
Yeah, you can use your action if you'd like to re-secure it. Dexterity check.
Yeah. It could be worse than an 8, but that has to be less than a 5. Because basically from this stance, trying to shoot would not be beneficial. It's not, I'd have to worry about my footing and everything else, right?
Balance, all that stuff. The recoil of firing a shot.
Yeah. So he's going to kind of tighten it and shorten up the rope in this situation and tie it tight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of like tie it tight and everything, and you also see that the way that the grappling hook is kind of sitting inside the gutter where that's situated. You even reach down, you kind of like get it wedged in there in a way that it has some swinging room, a little bit of swinging room, so it can shift side to side if need be, but it's secure, so it's just going to pop out at a little jump or whatever of the rope. So you get yourself pretty comfortably secure with the rope. You're ready to be an idiot. You know what I mean? You still have your bonus action.
Oh, yeah, I do have my bonus action. I guess my bonus action here is to hide.
Sure. Well, stealth check, so they can't attack you this turn.
Yep. Obviously, I'm on the roof. No advantage because I'm not invisible, and they're looking at me, so normal stealth. 22.
I mean, the people can't shoot javelins at you anyways, but you're lying low and hiding in there, staying out of sight. You move off to the side of where it was that they just saw you doing all that work we just described. So any shots like shot up there, I mean, crossbow bolts don't arc. Like you can take a bow and you can shoot it in a way that's designed to arc and hit somebody that's on like a roof. Crossbow bolts are designed to be like guns. You don't arc a crossbow bolt. You fire it through armor. Ah! So they can't hurt you. They spends their turn. You don't know what they're doing. It's your turn.
All right.
You can look over the ledge again if you'd like.
Baeshra's gonna pull out Heartseeker, and have it ready and look down to find a target.
Yep. Just kind of like stand up, find your target. It's bonus action to activate Heartseeker.
Yep.
Okay. You find a target that you see. The guy that was on the ledge, that was there beforehand. He had grabbed his own grappling hook and had thrown it and landed it so it was on the next windowsill above the windowsill that guy was trying to ladder his way up to. So he's literally in the middle of trying to climb up to the next windowsill.
I'm looking for somebody that's a crossbower. If he's climbing, I'm not too terribly worried about him right now.
Okay.
I'm looking for somebody who has a crossbow.
Pick that person then.
All right. I'm going to attack with my advantage.
It's a hit.
And then I'll roll my damage here, and then I'll roll my sneak attack.
Oh, that's a kill. Is that the same amount of damage the guy that fell 75 feet
Yep,
took?
exactly. 23.
So getting attacked by Baeshra is like falling off a 75-foot cliff. Is that what you're telling me?
Pretty much.
Of course. I mean, Mortifer personally doesn't. Mortifer falls 5 feet and stubs his toe and cries. So Baeshra shoots arrows so painful that it's like falling off a 75-foot cliff.
So Baeshra looking down has a really nice vantage point on this guy. He's leaning out with the rope there, draws his bow, and the arrow just shoots straight through the top of his head, down through his torso, just completely through his head, and the arrow is actually sticking out of his neck as he falls.
Oh, sticking out. I was gonna say, is it lost in there? They're gonna we have to do an autopsy to find the weapon.
It's like straight through his head because it's just like because the guy was looking down to reload his crossbow, so it was just, and he falls.
And do you bonus action stealth again?
Oh,
you can't. You can't.
Yeah, because I activated Heartseeker.
Cool. I get 2 more attacks against you. Come on, boys. Come on, hit him. I need a screenshot this. I rolled 2 natty ones.
They dropped their weapons.
I need a what is it? Snipping tool. I need to screenshot this. I gotta toss this into spoilers chat over on our
Lost Initiative show.
Yeah, Lost Initiative Discord. I rolled 2 natty ones.
So after seeing the arrow go through these guys' heads, I imagine these guys literally in shock just kind of like release their crossbows and go, oh crap, and have to scramble to pick them back up.
There we go. Tossed inside spoilers chat. Damn. 2 natty ones. That shit is painful. By the way, if you actually look at how big the clip is, the attack I did before that, the one that I said was like, I messed it up, that was also a natty 1. There's 3 natty 1s in a row.
Oh my
that are on my
gosh.
hidden rolls on attacks against you. 3 in a row.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah. By the way, your face is just like you smiling. My face is like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Perfect.
All right. Anyways.
Baeshra actually wants this guy to get to the roof that's right there, by the way.
Yep, that's fine. So at this point, it's literally a rinse and repeat. It's easy for you at this point. Because now that you no longer can Heartseeker, if you don't kill them in the round, you can hide. You're not going to kill everybody here. But you're going to kill enough, and everybody else is going to run away. And then, of course, you can take whatever actions you'd like to destroy the scaffolding and whatnot that they have prepared here. The only thing that's important at this point that I need from you is the simple athletics check to climb back up to the roof, the 15 feet to the roof.
Right now?
Because the battle's over.
So I
because you can shoot and hide, and there's nothing they can do, so they eventually run away.
Okay. Can I kill all of them, though? I want to make sure I kill all of them.
They're going to retreat and like hug along the side of the building and run up to the front, so they're not all going to be able to necessarily die. Oh, I see what you're going at here. I will give you, so we don't have to play out the whole combat. I'll give you a 25% chance of, 30% chance of killing all of them. Roll me a D100. If you roll between a 71 and 100, they all die. And then it's going to kind of, how many survive will be every 20 points beneath that. The lower you roll, the more survive.
Can I pick the middle third for killing all of them?
That's difficult. Hold on. So instead of 50, you're going to do like, say...
if it's easier, just do the top one.
No, that's fine. Let me just math for a second. My brain. Was it 36 to 65?
Let's just do the top third. It's easier for you.
No, 36 to 65.
No, we're doing the top third. I don't know. 36 to 65 is not as big of a range as 71 to 100.
If you say so. Go ahead.
36 to 65 is 26, whereas 71 to 100 is 29.
Pretty sure I said they're both 30.
No, you said 71 to 100. Technically, it should be 33. So 1 to 33.
Yeah. But it gives me clean numbers to work with. I'm pretty
34 to 30.
Am I
34
wrong?
to 67.
Check
67 to 100.
36 to 65 is 30, I think. And 71 to 100, I think, is 30. I think.
Yeah, but it's got to be 33 to be a third of a
D100.
D100.
Yeah. I rounded down. All right, roll your D100.
We did.
So instead of 0 surviving, minus 21, so 51, 2 people survive out of the 7.
No, we said the middle third. That'd be the middle third.
You just changed to the top third.
No, I didn't. I literally thought we agreed on middle third when I told you 1 to 33, 34 to 67 is the middle third.
Did he change it back? Did he take Spaxies?
I did not change it back.
Did he take
Spaxies
Spaxies
and
on
then
me?
we did the math so that you could figure it out.
Mortifer claims all 7 kills. That's right. Mortifer gets all 7 kills. Thank you, Wade. Thank you for being here. You are appreciated, sir. You are appreciated.
I literally did the math for you so we could do middle third. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would have taken the other one. I would not have done the math otherwise.
Fine, none survive.
Yes!
You know, I'm putting you back in a cage. Where's that? It's that goddamn cage. There you go.
No.
Get behind your box. You get behind
I'm
your cage.
rolling my athletics check.
You don't get a dog anymore. Where's that dog? I'm getting rid of that dog.
There, I rolled a 19 in athletics. Are you happy?
Yeah, you get behind your cage with your little cat. That's what you get now. You're back in prison with a dead cat. That's what you get, okay? So, anyways.
I did my athletics for you.
Athletics check, you easily climb back up there. You can make your way back into the place without any issues from this point, and so on. And so, with you very late into the night, many hours after their second battle had transpired, back on the roof of the library, sneaking your way back in, we're going to end this session. So that next session, we can pick it up with you being like, hey guys, look, I got a dog.
They're going to be like, I don't see anything. Shut up. No, I know what he's saying.
You just go, guys, don't worry, I got that too. Lansing revealing. See, look, I got a dog.
Yep.
So anyways, the if you're gonna name it Matilda, what do we call that for a nickname? Is it Maddie? Is it Lida? Is it like what's the nickname for Matilda?
It's just Matilda. We always said Matilda. There was never a shortened name.
But if you named your child Matilda, like real life, you wouldn't say Matilda all the time, especially if they were a baby. You would use a nickname. Just like my daughter's name's Aurora, but we call her Rory, or you know, like in chat, there's the true Emerus, but we just call him a poor roller. You know,
the reason we didn't give her a nickname. Her middle name was Marie. It was Matilda Marie Scheid.
Oh, your dog? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like my dog, Hades Raoul Davis. Oh. Tilly. I like Tilly. But anyways.
Tilly's good.
Yeah, Tilly's good. All right. Anyway, so whew, I didn't think we were going to go the 4 hours, but you found a reason to.
I literally was like searching in my brain. I'm like, actually, I want to look around the masks temple. I was like, I went there first and nobody was there, but he's like, he would actually look around. He a lot of information found about how to get word out about the books. Baeshra still has one of the books. Yeah.
Cool. So you found out all that information. You talked to the guy. You kept one of the books.
I stopped the siege on the front door with ogres.
Stopped the siege of the front door. A whole bunch of, which actually impacts how it is I'm going to narrate the beginning of next session, and so on.
And also have note of the 2 ships coming in and worried about reinforcements, and we'll discuss with Thonk about what to do with those, and so on and so forth.
Exactly that. All right, perfect, sir. I'm going to ask you, Tyler, for our closing. Who are you? Where can we find you?
Hi, I'm Tyler Scheid. You can find me on all social media as Apocalypto_12, especially here on Twitch as Apocalypto_12. If you want to check out my YouTube, there's only one video up there. I'm still working on getting more stuff, but that's going to be Apocalypto12, youtube.com/Apocalypto12. You can also find me over on Dale Rick's channel on Friday nights doing Aurorum Regicide. I will also be back over on Margaret Crone's channel here on Twitch as a guest appearance for a Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory campaign.
When are we playing that? It's been like
next Monday.
Month. Oh, this upcoming Monday we're playing?
Yep.
It's a good thing you said something. Totally did not remember when we were starting that up again.
Yep, next Monday. And then, of course, Lost Initiative Wednesday nights starting at 6 p.m. Pacific or 9 p.m. Eastern, depending on where you are. Here with Patrick, Wade, Mathis Games, and of course Dale Rick DMing the wonderful Dale Rick, who gives me a bunch of crap but is also really fun and great at improvising and doesn't believe me when I don't lie and tell him the middle third is why I did the math. So anyway, Baeshra survived. I don't know how I did it. There were a bunch of options. I fell. I almost fought the Thieves Guild guy, but then he ended up being kind of friendly, so we didn't fight him. And then found a cool dog, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Next week.
I'm excited to have that be incorporated into the party. You need a little help from time to time, right? That's actually something that can flank with you. But anyways, so I'm Dale Rick. You can find me here on Lost Initiative. You'll always find me and Mikey Boy over here, as well as the wonderful cast members that join us every Wednesday night, every other Thursday night. Not this week, though, next week, for the Dark Sun campaign. And you'll also find me over on twitch.tv/DaleRick, YouTube, and all that other stuff, /DaleRick. A bunch of campaigns going over there. Just a bunch. We just finished our first community game. We're actually streaming, like, myself as a PC, one of the community members as the DM, and a whole bunch of different community members of the PCs. I just mentioned Emerus being a poor roller because he was actually in the first arc, just 3 sessions long. I just finished. Very excited about that. Looking forward to the next arc, which will be starting not this upcoming Tuesday, but the next one. If you're a known member of the community over there and whatnot, you can always join into the those games, which is very exciting. Come and play D&D with me, guys. Yay! Yeah. As always, feel free to support the show if you would like on Patreon. Make some magic items for Baeshra. He needs something. He needs some love. Or poor Syax. He lost everything. It was all devoured.
That's true.
It was all devoured by Mike's folly. Mike's fault. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Hold on. Wait.
Oh no.
Baeshra lost his pants. Don't forget. Baeshra no longer has a loincloth or pants.
So, Snoel, when you draw that picture of Baeshra and his puppy, I expect there to be a pantsless Baeshra.
Don't worry, he doesn't have any junk that can just be absorbed into his lizardness.
Snoel, you take your creative liberties in any way that you'd like, except pants.
Oh, gosh.
No pants. #no pants.